It is a sunny morning here in Clearwater, Florida, as we get set for day 2 of the American Conference Championships at Spectrum Field. I'm Jeff Brightwell alongside Garrett Walvert, and Garrett yesterday grabbed 2 games early, had a little bit of rain delay to day 2, but the sun is out today. We have 3 games scheduled at Spectrum Field. There are 3 games over at Robert and Roberts Stadium at the Carpenter Complex. So it'll be a very busy day for the American Conference.
And we've got a good one to start. Wichita State, who spent the last 40 years in the Missouri Valley Conference, looking to make waves and maybe get an upset in their first ever American tournament game. Let's take a closer look at the bracket, the games that'll be on tap today.
We take a look at Wichita State and USF to start things off. Our next game will be Cincinnati. The Bearcats will go to action. They're got an upstart team this year looking to make some waves. They'll go against one of the regular favorites, the UConn Huskies. Then we will have a winner's bracket game later on this afternoon. So that's what's on story here today at Spectrum Field. Now let's bring in the third member of our broadcast crew, Haley Outen.
Jeff, Garrett, we're excited and looking forward to today's game, and everyone keeps talking about all this projected weather, but let me tell you, it's an absolutely beautiful morning down here, so looking forward to a great series of games today, both here at Spectrum Field and over at the Carpenter Complex. But we're going to keep you updated as best we can. Houston and UCF kicking things off on the field next door to us, and then obviously Wichita State and USF right here. So interact with us on Facebook. We're going to be tracking on your comments all day long here on Facebook, and you can not only tune into the games here at Spectrum Field, but we do have a single camera streaming those games at the Carpenter Complex, so you can at least see the action. And our buddy Jeff Sharon's on the call, so it's going to be a great day.
Thank you very much, Haley, and I'm sure Jeff Sharon was happy to get that call yesterday, and we thank him. We also thank let's go ahead and give a lot of credit to Scott Railing and his crew behind the scenes of the American Digital Network to be able to set that up on the fly to give our fans complete coverage of all 6 games a day, whether it's here at Spectrum Field or over beyond left field at the Carpenter Complex.
Just to have a live feed for all the fans who can't make the tournament down here, it's so valuable to be able to see their friends, their family members playing, trying to advance in this tournament. And Jeff, that first game, that's an elimination game between the conference champions, a couple of pretty good teams lining it up to get the morning started.
Well, if you needed to get woken up, then the elimination game should wake you up in the morning. Let's take a look at the Shockers, new to the league this season.
Well, they want to make sure and don't get behind in the count against a very talented USF team that piles up the strikeouts. That's 3 years in a row that the Bulls have staffed 500 Ks. And also, if they can play error-free in the field, they'll have a very good chance to get a victory today. Also, a chance to look at USF's keys. They've got to swing for extra bases. The Bulls, 2 years in a row, have led this conference in doubles. They're doing it again this year with 120-plus team doubles. And also, Jeff, they've got to command the strike zone, and they've got a guy on the hill today in Shane McClanahan who can do just that. He's a fireballer, a surefire first-rounder. Lots of scouts in the stands today to not only check out Shane McClanahan, but Alex Bohm from Wichita State, who is a national All-American and Dick Hauser semifinalist.
It'll be fun to watch the starting pitchers go at it today, and actually day 2 is always fun because these teams have had the extra day rest, more likely going to get your first line starter. And there's a look at the Wichita State lineup, and they are stacked full of all conference players and a pair of All-Americans and Alec Bohm and also Grayson Genista.
This is a team that's starting a lot of upperclassmen today, 7 of 9, just 1 freshman, 1 sophomore in Cadena and Jackson. Other than that, you've got a veteran lineup who's coming out here today, despite being the visitors, with a great chance to win.
And so that's the way they line up today for Wichita State against the USF Bulls. The USF Bulls this year come in as the 2 seed under Billy Mull, 32-18-1. 14-9-1 in the conference. They played the tie just a couple of weeks ago, ran into the curfew rule on a Sunday afternoon in the 11th inning.
Coming out of that regular season series, each team with a win, a loss, and a tie. You don't often see that in college baseball, but that's how it lined up. And USF, the home team, by virtue of being the number 2 overall seed, will bring Wichita State to the plate.
Take a look at how the Bulls are going to line up defensively. McClanahan on the mound, Diedrich behind the plate. Joe Run at first, Duncan at second, Montez at short, Villar at third, Phillips, Stunkel Jr., and Zek in the outfield. They've been fairly solid, 973, just 49 errors on the year. So a pretty solid defensive ball club.
If it plays like it has the last couple years for USF, you'll see Coco Montez at short and Duke Stunkel in center field making eye-popping plays. And don't forget, they've got the conference's All-American first-teamer David Villar at third base, who can hit, who can field, who can do a bit of everything.
Well, the defense Plays like it did yesterday in the two games we saw. Tremendous catches out there, line drives, and of course the triple play. Should be a very fun morning into the afternoon.
Grayson Padgett of U of H, in a losing effort, turned a triple play, the first one we've seen here in the American tournament in 5 seasons.
So McClanahan will finish up his warm-ups, and we are nearing first pitch here on day number 2 of the American Championships. Again, we'll keep you up to date with what's going on over at Robin Roberts Field at the Carpenter Complex. Sunny skies out here this morning. A few clouds are in the sky, looking at 76 degrees right now, and a 7-mile-an-hour wind blowing out toward left field.
Shane McClanahan, drafted out of high school, Cape Coral, Florida. He was taken in the 26th round by the New York Mets, elected to go to college and improve his standing. Jeff, he redshirted in 2016 due to an injury. Last year came back, made 15 starts, went 4-2 with a 3.2 ERA. This season comes into the ball game. ERA is a little bit higher, 3.5, and a 5-6 one-loss record.
Well, what stands out about McClanahan, those 111 strikeouts in just 66 innings this year. The first pitch on the way will miss to Luke Ritter, running a 9-game hit streak coming into today. The junior hitting .341, 6 homers, and 29 RBI. McClanahan, the lefty, with the 1-0 is going to be a strike call in the outer half.
Wichita State making their first appearance in the American Athletic Conference tournament. They spent the previous 40 years in the Missouri Valley and took home 17 tournament titles there.
1-1, pop foul right side out of play. Well, we've talked about their exploits yesterday. A national title, 7 trips to Omaha, Nebraska. They're used to winning in Wichita. Nice year overall at 34-19-1, but 9-14-1 their first year in the American. 1-2. So several new teams obviously for them to play, but their non-conference was solid. It wasn't as if they played a bad schedule. 72nd ranked strength of schedule, 16 games, and the top 50 this year. They were 7-8-1 against the top 50. So a 2-2 count now to Luke Ritter. Ritter, 23 walks, 29 strikeouts on the season. Wichita State in that familiar black and gold, and the USF Bulls in the white hats, the gold tops, and the white pants today. That one ripped foul.
McClanahan took a little something off of that one, 84 miles an hour, and Ritter out in front of it.
Yesterday we saw the 8 seed Tulane win. Wichita State with 34 wins. League-wise seeding may be an upset, but overall record, this is a well-matched up game. Again, we talked about 5 potential teams could make the NCAA, especially if one of the 6, 7, 8 seeds, and Wichita State being one of those, can come through this week. And you just don't know how it's going to play out, as we've already adjusted the schedule. If you'll get an off day tomorrow, or if it would be Friday or Saturday, you just got to try to go out there and win each game.
94 miles an hour on the gun there by McClanahan.
Fly ball to right field. Zek comes over. And there's one away.
And if you look right behind home plate, everyone that is sitting all the way up to the grandstand are scouts. You see the guns and the small handy cam cameras, everybody trying to get some footage of Shane McClanahan, and most likely the man coming to the on-deck circle, Alec Bohm.
We're expecting maybe something inside, in and outs that one to right field. Grayson Genista, an All-American first baseman, 312, 9 homers, and 37 driven in, has 7 doubles on the year as well. Lefty matchup. He'll take a ball down and away. Preseason All-Conference, preseason All-American by Baseball America, D1 Baseball, second team by Perfect Game and Collegiate Baseball, and first team by College Sports Madness. He was on the Golden Spikes list earlier this year. Made the American Honor Roll on May 14th.
And this is the type of day that we have expected year after year here in Clearwater. Just after 9 o'clock, low 80s. Lots of sunshine.
Ball upstairs, and McClanahan right now laboring a little bit. Went full count against Ritter and is behind Genista 3-0. .30 strike on the outside. Now a hitter's count to Genista. Again 312. 49 walks and his 39 strikeouts this year. It's a heavy hitting Shocker team with 56 home runs this season. 3-1 swing and a miss. Took something off that.
McClanahan keeps it about belt high. Genesta not able to catch up with it.
3-2 pitch fouled off. So he hangs in there again. Ritter, Genesta, and Bohm here, the top three in the order.
Amazing radar readings by Shane McClanahan early in this game. 94-94. That last one that he tried to blow by him, listed at 97 on the house gun.
3-2 just caps it foul.
So obviously from 97 to 84, pretty nice difference in speed there. You can see all the scribes below us furiously writing in their books. Tampa, of course, a great area for scouting.
3-2 lost him down and away. So he's gone full on both hitters so far. Ritter flew to right now. Genesta will grab his 50th walk of the year, and that'll bring up Alec Bohm, the junior, preseason All-American as well. 332, 15 home runs, 52 driven in. At 13 doubles and triple, he slugged .616 and more walks than strikeouts.
Native of Omaha, Nebraska. Good city for college baseball. You may have heard of it. Big kid up there at the plate. 6'5", 220 pounds in his junior season.
Genesta at first with 11 steals. He's been caught once. Dietrich behind the plate, pretty good. He's thrown out 19 of 67 this year. Ground ball, base hit through the left side past the diving Villar. So the Shockers have something going here to start off the ball game.
McClanahan gave up his 40th walk of the season in 66 innings pitched to Genesta, and then Bohm follows it up with a single through the left side. He smoked that ball.
Gunnar Troutwine, the senior catcher, hits .318, 7 homers, 48 driven in, 14 doubles on the season. They have 4 players in the lineup in Ritter, Bohm, Troutwine, and then Young down in the 8th spot with double-digit doubles so far. They have 98 as a team. Chance for an RBI if he can drive in Genesta. First pitch, strike 0-1 on Troutwine. 31 walks, 33 strikeouts. Right-hander ready. .333 hitter with runners in scoring position. Swing and a miss. Went after the high heat. Down 0-2.
This season, with runners on, opponents are hitting just .194 against McClanahan, and right-handers are hitting just .180.
So Genesta at second. Bohm over at first base. Troutwine, first team all-conference at the plate, cleaning things up. There go the runners, and a hit and run, and just got a piece of it. No, he struck out, but they will execute the double steal as Genesta now at third and Bohm at second base. 2 away in the inning, and it's going to be up to Noah Croft, the designated hitter.
Despite the double steal, that's a good sign for McClanahan. Fastball comes across. First strikeout of the ball game.
Croft this year, .317, pair of home runs, 11 driven in, just his 17th start of the year. .314 with the runners on, but just an .083 hitter with 2 outs in an inning. McClanahan looking to take advantage. Just 3 walks to 18 strikeouts for Croft. He'll leave the first one low, 1-0 with Cadena on deck. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball. Evens it up at 1-1. Now they'll play him straight away all around the infield and the outfield. Down and away. Now that'll put Croft ahead in the count.
93 miles an hour on the outside part of the plate. 2 men in scoring position.
McClanahan comes inside, and a hitter's count 3-1 now for Noah Croft, the designated hitter. Pair doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs for the sophomore DH. Looking for a 2-out base hit, 3-1. Fouls it straight back. So a full count now from McClanahan.
The ability by Shane to drop speeds is just jaw-dropping. He went from 92 to 71 between those 2 pitches. Lucky to get a piece of that one. Croft hanging tough up there at the plate.
McClanahan going to try to get his Bulls back into the dugout. On the 3-2. Way upstairs. Looks like he just lost his grip on it. Second walk of the first inning. The base is loaded now. And that'll bring up Ross Cadena. Cadena this year, freshman, the left fielder, making this his 11th start in his 18th appearance. 256 no homers and 7 driven in. So a big opportunity here for the freshman left fielder. Right-hander digs in.
Wichita stayed on the season with 5 grand slams. That's second nationally, as the young man steps to the plate with a golden RBI opportunity. Coach Todd Butler's team trying to break through in the first inning.
Well, McClanahan can get out of this inning scoreless if he can erase Cadena, but one concern right now, that's 27 pitches already in the first. 1-out walk, a single, and a 2-out walk have loaded the bases. In between, Ritter flew out to right to lead off the game. Troutwine would strike out on the double steal. 1-0, strike called.
In my opinion, McClanahan needs to follow this up with a strike, keep it low, maybe keep it outside to the right-handed hitter, but follow it up with a strike, put some pressure on the Shockers.
So Cadena will step out of the box. He has Alex Jackson, a sophomore right fielder, on deck. And Genesta at third, Bohm at second, and Croft at first.
Nice job by McClanahan. Keeps it down in the zone and gets called strike 2.
So it'll work from ahead of the count, just like you said, what he needed to do. So he's got a pitch to give here. Let's see if he can get Ross Cadena maybe to chase after one. Cadena has to be very disciplined up there. 5 walks, 4 strikeouts in his 18th game of the year. He's had 39 at bats, 45 plate appearances. Takes it just inside.
Nice to see that McClanahan can dial it up when he wants to. 95 miles an hour there. Big at bat for Cadena.
The 2-2 is just down and in, so it's another full count for McClanahan.
A couple of breaking offerings from McClanahan have finished high. That one finishes out of the zone low. Runners will be off with the pitch.
Base hit would score 2. One in the alley could clear the bases. There's a foul ball. So they'll all go back. Croft at first, Bohm at second, Genesta at third base. Another opportunity for Cadena, and McClanahan another opportunity to get out of this jam.
Chance for McClanahan to show some confidence here. Rear back with your best stuff. Try and throw a strike. Keep it low.
Well, they want to keep Wichita State off the board first.
That was ball 4.
Gives it a run and fouls it off. The Shockers, if they score first, are 24-5 when they score first. So they would love to give the lead to Adam Keller.
I think if I was making my first start of the year, I'd like some run support as well.
Get that 6th grand slam and go out there with a 4-run lead. McClanahan will have something to say about it right here. 3-2. Comes inside, he walks the run in. 3 walks in an inning, and that's not the Shane McClanahan we're used to seeing. So Gadina will bring in the run. Genesis jogs in from third. Bohm goes to third. Croft to second, and it's 1-0. Shockers here in their first American Conference ball game. Now they're going to make their way out to the mound to talk to McClanahan. Billy Mullen, his first year at USF, 32-18-1, in very good position for an at-large appearance in his very first season.
Tulane graduate, 2007. He's been with USF since 2015. Came with Mark Kingston, who is now doing great things at South Carolina, but just a guy who's tried and true with USF, and I think has big things headed for this program. Good recruiter. Obviously, he's got a lot of talent in the field right now.
So that's a quick meeting on the mound. 34 pitches so far for McClanahan. Here's Alex Jackson, the right fielder. Alex Jackson, the sophomore, 256, a home run, 13 driven in. 33rd game of the year, his 17th start. Lefty matchup for McClanahan. Just burns him on the inside, swing and a miss. So McClanahan has a sign from Dietrich. Again, trying to get out of a jam here. Pops him foul. Now he's a strike away from getting back in the dugout. 0-2 on Jackson. He'll have to protect the plate. 7 walks to 18 strikeouts. He's done that in 85 plate appearances, 78 at-bats this year.
Jackson, one of the 2 underclassmen getting the start today. He's a sophomore last year, had 44 starts, played primarily in center field. Texas native with a big chance to score here.
The 0-2 just up and in. Outfield straight up, the infield still laying back, looking for this third out. Back-to-back walks, though, bringing a run. The 1-2 reaches out. 2 Hopper to second. Dutke over to first. That will end the inning. So the Shockers strike first. They'll get 1 run on 1 hit, no errors. 3 left on base. We played half an inning, and Wichita State on top, 1-0 in Clearwater.
Oh, that ball is hit deep. Left field. Way back. That ball is gone.
Double play ball potentially striking Stalls over to first. In time, double play, and that ends the game.
Wichita State, on the strength of 3 walks and a base hit, take a 1-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the first here in Clearwater on day 2 of the American Conference Championships as we take a look at the USF lineup.
Pretty impressive lineup, and it is veteran laden. 8 juniors and the senior Duke Stunkel will make 1 through 9 today. Montez, Stunkel, and Villar, the first teamer, will lead it off. Genord in the cleanup spot. Chatfield, Dutke, and Phillips through the middle of the order. Garrett Zeck and Tyler Dietrich, the catcher, rounding out their starting 9.
That's how they line up for the Bulls this morning. There's who they will face. Adam Keller, a senior right-hander.
Keller, who spent his first season at West Virginia, then did some in junior college work, is now a senior with a sub-1 ERA, 1-1 on the year. Jeff, he's made 13 appearances, but none of them have been starts, so this will be his first starting work of the year. He's thrown 18 and a third innings pitched, struck out 22, only allowed 16 hits and 5 runs. Opponents are hitting .232 against the Broken Arrow, Oklahoma native.
Well, you'll see that from time to time again in conference tournaments as you get set to look at Wichita State and how they will line up on defense. Keller on the hill, Troutwine behind the place, Genesta at first, Renner at second, Boyer at short, Bohm at third, Dina, Young, and Jackson from left to right in the outfield. They field 961, 61 errors on the year, but they have turned 48 double plays.
Well, the job today for Adam Keller is to keep it out of the middle of the plate, because that's where USF does the most damage. They lead the conference in doubles, one of the hardest hitting teams in the American. They've got hitters all up and down their lineup. Coco Montez will lead it off for him.
Montez 323, 3 homers, 34 driven in.
Now in his 7th season. No, that's a joke, but it just he has been so synonymous with USF, making play after play at shortstop the last handful of years.
Keller, the right-hander, leaves it down and away. Well, in college, you get these guys that start as true freshmen, and they play 50 or so ball games. It just seems like they have been there forever. A lot of at-bats under Montez's belt. Goes after that one, fouls it off. That'll even the count up at 1-1. Montez 434 when leading an inning off. USF as a team 297 this year, 47 home runs and 132 doubles.
Montez is one of 6 Bulls hitting 300 or better. He's 4th on the team at 323.
Keller's 1-1, down and out.
In his first season last year, Adam Keller made 22 appearances and a pair of starts. He went 3-2 with a 3.8 ERA. He's been very effective as a reliever this year, though limited outings, again only 18 innings pitched.
The offering in there for a strike evens it up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wichita State has been pretty good on the mound, just 185 walks to 487 strikeouts as a staff. 2-2, but another full count here. First one for Keller. We saw McClanahan get his pitch count up in the first inning with 3 full counts and 3 walks. And now Montez already a full count. Excuse me, Keller already with a full count to Montez. About to see 3 straight all-conference performers right behind Coco. 3-2. He hit that one, but it's going to hook foul deep there on the concourse.
Well, Jeff, the dynamic of the tournament has changed with the weather and having to play 6 games today. So the winner of this game would play at 4 o'clock. The opportunity for whoever wins today, if they can get a pair of wins, potentially they don't see the field again till Saturday, right, depending if more games get moved up or not. But you could be set so pretty to make it to the championship game with 1 win on Saturday.
Fouled off at third base again. Montez getting a good barrel on the ball so far. Sitting one deep, and now rockets that one off the wall.
I mean, if you're Wichita State and you can come away with a win today, they already have a 1-0 lead, and you want to throw somebody like Liam Eddy, Cody Hoyer, you've got another guy who's got a lot of starts under his belt, and Preston Snavely, you could really set yourself up well today. No word yet on who they would throw in game 2 today if they're victorious.
3-2 offering now from Keller. Swinging and a miss, struck him out.
That's a great start for the senior. Keller blows one by Montez there, and he'll head back to the third base dugout. Let's take a closer look. Keeps it low. Boy, that one fell off a table on the outside part of the plate. A little momentum for the senior. Starting this one off.
Here's the all-conference center fielder, Duke Stunkel Jr., 347, a pair of home runs, 23 driven in. His diving play in the bottom of the 9th at Wichita State on a Sunday afternoon sent that game to extra innings, the game they ended up tying in 11 innings. Little excuse me check swing, the ball found the bat Fouled it off, and he's down 0-1.
Keller did face USF back on May 12th. 2 1/3 innings of scoreless relief. He did give up 2 hits, struck out 2, did not factor in the decision. And that was the game that Wichita State fell in 9-6.
Two 2-0 now to, or 1-1 rather, on Stunkel. Duke grounds it up the middle. Long way to go for Ritter, and it's going to get through. Made a dive at it. Stunkel takes an aggressive turn at first. So a 1-out single for Duke Stunkel Jr. That's his 67th base hit of the year. That's second on the team, only trailing David Villar at third base. And this is a guy to watch, as you mentioned in the pregame. He really makes the Bulls go.
Villar hitting .380, 12 homers, 51 RBIs. The glove so good, the bat so hot that he earned first team all-conference in the American. You've got the 2 premier third basemen in the conference in this game with Bohm and Villar. He'll come to the plate here with 1 on, 1 out.
.351 hitter with runners on base. .380 overall, 12 homers and 52 driven in. Takes a big cut there and fouls it off. Stunkel Jr., the pair of stolen bases on the year. USF not a big base stealing team, 39 of 55 on the season. Troutwine behind the plate. He's thrown out 12 of 37 that have attempted. Wichita State, they've turned 48 double plays this season. Ground ball to third. They'll try to go around the horn. 5-4, not the 3. So they get the force out at second, but just a little late as Villar really got down the line quickly.
Really nice pickup and turn by Bohm at third. And Villar got down the line just in time as the relay wasn't there. See this one? Pretty throw. Little bit low. And the throw across. We'll see if it's in time. Yes. He got to the bag just there, and that'll keep the inning alive.
Joe Genord, all-conference first baseman. .315 with 12 homers, 44 driven in.
Wichita State was running off the field, thought they had the twin killing. Jordan Boyer at short did a nice job of going over to cover the bag while everyone was running off the field at second.
That'll be upstairs to Genord. Genord, 15 walks, 27 Ks on the year. He's got 11 doubles. Everyone in the order except Garrett Zeck, and he's got 8, has double-digit doubles. Again, 132 on the season for USF. 1-0 swing and a miss. Marked down to 80 miles an hour.
Genord second on the team with 44 runs driven in. He trails only Villar, who's standing on first.
The right-hander leaves it down and away as Troutwine able to knock it down. So Genord hits ahead in the count at 2-1. 407, 2-out hitter. Comes a 2-1 now from Keller. Leaves it up and in. Now a 3-1 hitter's count to Genord.
Despite the hitter's count, I like what I've seen from Keller so far. It's nice as a coach to be able to send a senior out there, a veteran in a conference tournament game that means a whole lot. Want to put your best foot forward. Big pitch coming up.
3-1. He loses him. So Genord takes the walk, and it's first and second, and now Chris Chatfield an opportunity to tie this ball game up. The junior DH, 254, pair of homers and 24 driven in, has Villar in scoring position with 2 outs. Left-hander, 284 with runners in scoring position. Again, another very good 2-out hitter, hitting .308 with a pair of outs in an inning. And a slight breeze blowing out toward the left field foul pole this morning. Slider comes down and in. That'll miss to Chatfield.
Chatfield grew up just south of USF's campus in Riverview, Florida. Big kid, 6'3", 215, now in his junior season, majoring in biomedical sciences. Congratulations to you, young man. Bright future ahead.
Troutwine quickly walks out to talk to Keller. Keller behind 1-0, trying to look for this third out, trying to get out of the inning. Get a 1-0 Wichita State lead.
Chatfield had himself a tournament last year. You remember 2 home runs here in Clearwater. Started 49 games in left field for the Bulls as a sophomore.
So Keller comes set. Chatfield swing and a miss. With it down and away at 81. Yeah, no home runs in game 1 yesterday. A couple dingers in game number 2. An offensive day on day 1. A lot of runs scored yesterday. The 1-1 down and in again. 2-1.
We didn't see any home runs in game 1, but then they kind of came aplenty in game 2. And the last one we saw by Big Joe Davis was well over the wall into the berm in left center. Leadoff home runs are always fun. Keep you on your toes. Tyler Bilamovich got him on the board.
So plenty of doubles in the first game. 2-1. Strike call to the outside. Count even up now at 2-2. A 2 on and 2 out.
Chatfield not afraid after this pitch to look back at the home plate umpire, Jim Shaley.
Again, tying run is Villar at second base. Go ahead, Ron. Genord at first. Hop it out. Now a full count. And now Adam Keller starting to elevate his pitch count just a little bit. Up to 23 pitches. Remember, McClanahan up over 30 in the top half of the first. Three-2. Ground ball foul. So to remain a full count of J.D. Dutka, the second baseman, standing on deck. And Keller came out. He struck out Montez. The single by Stunkel. A fielder's choice by Villar. They forced out Stunkel, and then Genord took the walk. Chatfield at the plate. 3-2. Keller's offering, and he walked him. Back-to-back walks, and now USF has a bases-loaded opportunity.
Pretty exciting first inning for our game to lead things off on a Wednesday.
The 5th walk of the ball game here in the first between 2 pretty good pitchers.
Now McClanahan had back-to-back walks, and his last one against Ross Cadena drove in a run. Let's see if Mr. Keller can wriggle off the hook here. Pretty good batter, and Dutka coming up.
Dutka 302, pair of homers, 26 driven in. 250 hitter with the bases loaded. He'll take the strike at the letters.
Dutka's got a good eye at the plate. Second on the team with 24 walks. Got to be cool up there at the plate under the hot Florida sun right now.
Just a pair of home runs, but he's tied for third with 16 doubles this year. The 0-1 up and in. That'll leave things up at a ball and a strike. So Villar at third, Genord at second, Chatfield at first. The 1-1 and a righty matchup. Just missed inside.
An arm is up for Wichita State in the pen. Sophomore southpaw Keelan Kilgore.
Two-one offering, ground ball to short. Boyer will go to Bohm at third for the force out. It'll be a 6-5 put out to end the inning. So no runs. There were one hit, no errors. 3 will be left on. We played a full inning here in Clearwater. Again, Wichita State with a 1-0 lead. Nuts head down to the field. Check in with Haley Alton.
Just wanted to welcome you into our broadcast. If you're now just waking up with us, realizing we have fans both in the Central and Eastern time zone. So an early start, an 8 a.m. first pitch today. So have your breakfast, have your coffee with us. And it was so much fun yesterday seeing where fans were tuning in from all over the world. We had London, Canada, I mean, just to name a few places. So a ton of fun. And don't forget, you can tune into UCF in Houston. Just exit out of this stream, head to our timeline. You'll see it there. A very simple broadcast, but at least you'll be able to watch your game. And as always, we're monitoring and listening to your comments all day long here on the American Digital Network Plus.
Thank you very much, Haley. It was interesting to see where all we had people listening to, and Australian viewers as well yesterday. I believe Scotland was on the stream and heard from a lot of people. And again, thanks to our crew at the American Digital Network being able to set up that secondary stream since we had to bunch up 6 games today, move it to the field. And we've talked about this complex here where the Phillies play at Spectrum Field, the Carpenter Complex, allowing us to do this so we don't get so backed up with potential weather, allowing us to stay ahead of anything coming.
Just another gracious showing by the Phillies and their staff here. I mean, their grounds crew may be the best in the state of Florida. They have certainly proved their worth over the years here with this tournament and prior with the Big East. But this is a beautiful complex, and if there were problems for any reason, you've got the Joe DiMaggio Sports Complex right across the street. This is just a baseball hotbed in this area. So I think everybody's going to be able to play their best baseball today. It's a shame 3 teams won't be able to play here on the big stage, but at the same time, for their fans, we've got it on the air.
Well, the way they set it out was nice. So every team's going to play their first game here in Spectrum Field, and you'll go through the bracket from there on out. But both of these pitchers, McClanahan and Caloris, McClanahan comes out, really got that count elevated as McClanahan sitting at 38 pitches to start just the second inning.
All 8 conference teams in action today. Catch them online.
Here's the first pitch. Will be just outside to Travis Young, the junior center fielder. 261, a home run, 20 driven in. Little strikeout pro with just 12 walks to 45 Ks this year in his 45th game, 38th start of the season. (1-0) strike call to Young. Now that'll even up at a ball and a strike. (1-1) as McClanahan begins his windup. Popped him up into left field. Phillips and Stunkel Jr. Phillips makes the catch, and there's 1 out. A little under that one, and he records the first out. That'll bring up the 9-hole hitter, Jordan Boyer, the junior shortstop. 261, 3 homers, and 19 driven in.
USF Bulls this year won 5 conference series, took out UConn, Tulane, ECU, UCF, and Memphis. They, of course, split with Wichita State, enduring a tie. And then only were able to, they took the series against Cincinnati as well on the road at Marge Schott Stadium. Took 2 of 3 from the Bearcats, who will be in action right after this game.
Strike called. Interesting the way they scheduled this year. They finished up with Memphis April 29th. They had their bye week in the American scheduled for the next week. They played a midweek game. 2 weeks later at #1 Florida, as you mentioned, Wichita State and Cincinnati on the road. They didn't play in Tampa after April 29th, so the last 3 weekends were away for home.
Had a chance for an upset in Gainesville against #1 Florida. Ended up falling in that one 11-8. Good game against the Gators, who are in action today over in Hoover at the SEC tournament against LSU. Good baseball going on all across the country this week.
1-2 to Boyer, called strike 3. Got him on the inside. That's going to be the second strikeout for McClanahan. There's quickly 2 down.
So McClanahan makes pretty short work of the bottom of the order. Now the lineup flips over, and Ritter coming back to the plate with 2 out, nobody on. He hit the ball hard, but into right fielder Zek's glove in his first at bat.
He worked a full count before that flyout, now hitting .340 this year, 6 homers, 29 driven in. First pitch, down and in as he skipped out of the way of it. Getting Ritter working on a 9-game hit streak right now. (1-0) down and in again. 2-0 Ritter ahead. A ground ball that's going to get through the middle of the infield. 2-out single. So Ritter now extends that hit streak to 10 games. That'll bring up the preseason All-American Grayson Genista.
Second hit of the ball game for Wichita State, who's doing a nice job against McClanahan of getting the ball on the board, getting base runners as well. Now, there are 2 outs, but a man is on, and Genista will come to the plate.
Genista 3-12, 9 homers, 37 driven in. He walked, ended up stealing third an inning ago, and a double steal would come home to score on Ross Cadina's bases loaded walk. And quickly Dietrich out to talk to McClanahan, who's nearing 50 pitches. Ritter with 5 steals over at first. So a lofty matchup here for McClanahan. He delivers the fastball strike on the outside. They've got Dutka way deep at second base. That ball is up and in. Dutka at second. It's about 20 feet deep into right center field. (1-1) outside, now a 2-1 count. Ground ball up the middle. Way over is Dutka. He was playing very deep at second base, so he's able to grab the ball, but it's going to be a single, back-to-back singles for Ritter and Genista with 2 outs, and that'll bring up Alec Bohm.
That was low, reached out and got it anyway, and got just enough on it to send it to the back of the infield.
So they'll put a little bit of a shift on as Dutka will now play behind the bag at second, more so to keep Ritter close. But a lot of room on the right side of the infield. Here's Alec Bohm, preseason All-American, leading that team in batting average coming into the ball game at .332. Again with 15 home runs, 52 driven in. On the inside.
Bohm with that great size at 6'5", 220, very durable as well. He's starting his 135th straight game for the Shockers today.
Second inning in a row, they look for a 2-out RBI. They had the bases loaded walk by Cadena an inning ago. This one fouled off.
What you got to love about a guy like Bohm is that he can hit them in bunches. 22 multi-hit games this year, all conference selection. Great things ahead for him. A couple ducks on the pond too.
Well, he'll wait patiently. That big right-hander took a big cut at that one and fouls it straight back.
Love these opportunities to watch power on power. McClanahan, I mean, he's been mid-90s, approaching high 90s with some of his pitches so far today. And if Bohm can guess correctly, it's going to go a long, long way. Might disrupt the ball game across the field from us.
The 1-2. Down and in as he has to hop out of the way. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2-1 here in the top half of the second, and a 1-0 Wichita State lead. The 2-2 from McClanahan. Inside again. So yet another full count here for McClanahan. Dudka again up the middle at second base. Bohm ready to go. 3-2, and he goes after one a little bit high. Stays alive, though. Didn't want to take any chances. So we'll reset things. Ritter at second. Genesta over at first. 2 outs in the top half of the second. 1-0 Wichita State.
Mentioned it earlier, Bohm a semifinalist for the Dick Hauser Trophy and the Golden Spikes Awards, the 2 most prestigious awards you can win in collegiate baseball. Pretty select company that he's playing with right now.
3-2, and he pulls this one foul into the USF dugout. Hops it over there.
Love to see what's going through that young man's mind right now. Is he guessing fastball? Is he guessing wait on the breaking ball and drive it to the gap? What does he think's coming from McClanahan? And can Shane fool him here?
Three-two, and he got up under that one toward right field. Could be trouble. Let's see. No, taking charge is going to be Zach to make the catch. And that will end the inning. No runs, a pair of hits, no errors, and 2 men left on. We're moving to the bottom of the second. 1-0 Wichita State. And again, we've got another game going on over across at the Carpenter Complex. With more on that ball game is Haley Outen.
We do. I have an update from the Houston UCF game in the top of the third. The Cougs just got on the board with a 2-run homer from who else but Tyler Bilamovich. We saw one from him yesterday, another today. So Houston leads 2-0 in the top of the third.
Again, 1-0 Wichita State. We go to the bottom of the second after this on the American Digital Network.
Wichita State University is Shocker Nation. We exceed expectations, push boundaries, seize opportunities, and move boldly ahead. We are student-centered and innovation-driven. It's who we are. Our vision is simple but powerful. Create, innovate, collaborate, and celebrate. With one unifying purpose: to shock the world.
There are other people just like you. Driven. Determined. Those who use passion to spark creation. Others who are ready to unite and discover together. It all starts with you and continues with us, the University of South Florida.
1-0 Wichita State as we're moving to the bottom of the second here in Clearwater at Spectrum Field. 1 of 2 games going on, as you just heard Haley update us. Houston with the 2-0 lead early in their elimination ball game with UCF as Tyler Bilamovich has homered. As take a look up into the suites here, and there is a legend.
A Hall of Famer, Gene Stevenson, the legendary head coach of Wichita State. He's made the trip down to Clearwater. 7 trips to Omaha in the College World Series, the old school Rosenblatt.
Right.
I had a chance to meet him in 2015 at TD Ameritrade Park. Very generous with his time. Loves to talk baseball, and of course, the 1989 national champion for the Shockers.
So taking in some baseball, watching his program in the new league.
Good to see Coach.
Yeah. Keller's first pitch drops it in there for a called strike to Kyle Phillips, the left fielder. Kyle Phillips this year, 324, 5 homers and 19 driven in. Long wind up for Keller, and Phillips will deliver a base hit to the left side of the infield, so a leadoff single. Bottom third of the order here. Phillips second, Dietrich, Garrett Zek. 254, 6 homers, 20 driven in.
Pretty good baseball on display here today in Clearwater. Both these teams in the top 50 of the NCAA's RPI as of today. Wichita State, number 47, competing for an NCAA tournament bid. They're trying to get back to the regionals for the first time since 2013. And USF, top 25, they're number 22 going into this week's play.
Keller a long look. They squared a bunt. It's going to be rolled foul off to the left side. So trying to push Phillips up to second base. Phillips, the leadoff single. That's the first leadoff man to reach base through 3 half innings. See if Zach's going to show bunt again. They'll have Bohm coming in, doesn't show bunt that time, leaves it up and out. On the season, if they show it again, 14 sack bunts on the season for USF, so they don't do a lot of sacrificing. Back to first, not in time. 132 doubles, you don't need to sacrifice a whole lot. Long wait for Keller. Boy, check swinging. The ball found the pad again. That barrel didn't even come around and it found it up and in. So 1-2 as Zeg's behind. 14 walks, 62 strikeouts on the year for Garrett Zeg.
6-footer, 198 pounds, and has missed just 3 games for USF in his first 3 seasons. Started every game as a freshman. Hails from Naples, Florida, just south of the Bay Area.
Back to first. Again, Phillips dives back in easily.
Tampa Bay area, home to more than 2.5 million people. It's got to be nice to be able to play for a premier college baseball program in your hometown area. Built a brand new stadium within the last handful of years, and obviously in a premier conference now as well. It's nice to have your family be able to watch.
Down low. It's going to be even nicer if you're Billy Mole to walk around and recruit this region.
I think that's why historically UCF and USF have been teams that sent programs to the NCAA tournament, won regionals, and been successful. There's just a boatload of talent in the Tampa Bay and Orlando areas.
2-2. Fouled straight back as he rolls it foul. And the development, not just the talent, but when you're able to play ball, fall ball, and it's still 80 degrees in fall ball, winter ball, and it's still 60 or 70. These young men coming up through the youth leagues and high school can basically play year round.
People are coming to Florida to play these games, whether it's high school, amateur, pro ball. They're coming here to get their cuts in.
2-2 again coming up to Garrett Zeg. And this time Keller's going to step off the rubber. Two pitch now from Keller. Swing and a miss. Got him, struck him out. Went away with 1 on for the 9-hole hitter Tyler Dietrich. Comes up, drops off. Now Dietrich, 280 hitter with a home run, 32 driven in. He does have 12 doubles. A little bit like Garrett Zeg, a little strikeout prone, only 11 walks to 54 strikeouts this year. Phillips again takes his lead. He has 7 stolen bases this year. And he'll check him, nearly threw it away as Genista had to come over Phillips to backhand that one.
Dietrich listed at 5'10", 185 pounds, now in his junior year out of Naples, Florida. His father, Billy, played baseball at Texas Tech.
Pitches a strike on the inside, 0-1 on Dietrich. Then they're going to flip it back to the top of the order in Coco Montez.
Dietrich looks back into his third base dugout. sending some signals his way, and now he's ready to get back in the box.
Can movement in the Shocker bullpen as they're up for a second inning in a row. Again, Keelan Kilgore was up an inning ago. 0-1. One and one down to Dietrich. Keller up to 38 pitches. Would love to get this double play. So Kilgore just kind of soft tossing out there. He's warmed up 2 innings in a row. He'll be good to go on short notice. Here's a ground ball just foul at third base.
Well, of course, with the weather pushing games up, we've had to spare some umpires. So a 3-man crew today, no one down the third base line currently. But I think they made the right call from home plate there. Foul ball. Again, great job by the conference and everyone else involved to get these games in before maybe the weather turns worse on Thursday.
A 1-2 pitch. Fouled it out of play. So still 1-2 on Dietrich. Boy, the hitters for the first 3 games, Garrett, have done a really nice job working pitch counts. It seems every game the starters have kind of labored a lot of full counts, a lot of pitch counts getting up early. And remember, they chased Aaron Fletcher early yesterday, the pitcher of the year from Houston.
Just 1 1/3 innings pitched for Fletcher, who could be available later in the week if Houston advances. But odd to see him give up 6 runs on 8 hits and not get out of the second.
Now, if you want to call it a bonus, as you mentioned, just 46 pitches. If we miss the next 2 days and he doesn't play until Friday or Saturday, then Houston could bring Fletcher back into play even before they got to the championship ball game if they needed him on a Saturday. Especially if they're going to get to Sunday, they're going to have to force that second semifinal ball game.
One thing we've never seen is the regular season conference champion go 0-2 in this tournament. Tulane in 2015 won the regular season title and did not make the semifinals, but they did win their opener.
Swing and a miss. There's 2 away on the strikeout for Keller. Now he's an out away from getting out of the second inning. Dropped it off, down and in. Kogo Montez struck out an inning ago. One of 3 strikeouts so far for Keller. Montez, 322 this year. 3 homers, 34 driven in. A 333 hitter with 2 outs.
Keller doing what he needs to do, taking care of the bottom of the order with back-to-back strikeouts. Now he'll step off the hill before facing Montez. He's done a nice job of raising his batting average all 3 years in Tampa.
Swinging and a miss. Got him there at the knees. Duke Sunkle Jr. on deck. He had a base hit an inning ago. 0-1 now from Keller again with Phillips. The leadoff single. He's still standing over at first base. Up under the elbows will miss. And there's Duke Stunkle Jr., the all-conference center fielder, 1 for 1 in the ball game. 16 doubles. They'd like to get him up in position here. Drive in a run and tie the ball game up. There's a well-hit ball in the left center field. This is going to make its all the way to the wall as a one hops the wall. Here comes Phillips around third. He falls down. He was going to score easily. He still will. Slipped around third, so he dives twice and scores the run to tie it up.
Big smile on Phillips's face. Don't know where the sniper got him, but he hit the deck and was able to get up without the throw and score.
So that'll be the 133rd double of the year for USF, and for Montez his 19th and 35th RBI. Oh, just kind of stutter step there. Good job by Phillips. Slid, got right back up, took the momentum in. Here is Duke Stunkel Jr. Now he's got a chance to drive in the go-ahead run. You got Montez out at second. Stunkel Jr. 351 this year. 2 homers and 23 driven in.
Just the 5th double given up all year by Keller. That one got all the way to the wall in a hurry. And now another dangerous at bat coming with Stunkel.
And the wind blowing out toward left, as it did all day yesterday. Battle miss outside to Duke.
You know, unless something changes in this game, Jeff, this could be a game where the offense comes at a premium, and for USF to tie it up there after giving up the run in the first could be pivotal.
Take a look at those flags on top of the scoreboard there. You see them whipping out. .10 swing and a miss. Took a lot off that one. Dropped it down to 85 miles an hour.
See if USF can continue the 2-out hitting here against Adam Keller.
One down and away. So Keller now approaching 50 pitches as well. Montez leads from second. Boyer right behind him. Now you've got Montez bouncing around out there at second. Keller whip, the pitch is high. 3-1 hitters count to the left-hander Duke Stunkel Jr.
USF with a big bounce back season in 2017. They won 42 games last year. That was their most in 20 seasons in Tampa. Led the nation in strikeouts per 9 innings. Their calling card is certainly offense this year.
3-1 as he takes a strike. Breaking ball drops in at 83.
Still with a very strikeout heavy staff though, and 3 years in a row they've struck out 500 or more batters.
Comes the 3-2, a full count. And the offering from Keller. Chopper to the right side. This is going to be a tough play. Genista has it in a quick cover at first by Keller to end the inning. But the Bulls will tie it up 1 run. A pair of heads, no errors will leave a man on base. We play 2 full innings here in Clearwater, and the Shockers and the Bulls are tied at 1.
$7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle,
a big save,
a clutch hit,
and a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right.
Power is respecting an opponent, officials,
student athletes, coaches, and team representatives.
Power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments,
profanities, or other improper actions
while at the game.
The American.
Power.
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 Power for life.
Well, we're all tied up at 1 as we move to the top of the 3rd here in Clearwater at Spectrum Field. Both pitchers have only given up a run on 3 hits, yet both pitchers, Garrett, have seen the hitters be very disciplined and raise their pitch counts. And a matchup between McClanahan and Keller, at the rate they're going, it may just be about a 5-inning start for both of these guys today, unless they start logging some quick 1, 2, 3 innings.
I think you're right, but the fact that it's been such a low-scoring affair early on, both coaches have to feel pretty confident right now. Todd Butler, who's in the dugout for Wichita State, wears number 9. He's got to feel good about what Keller has done to this point, even though the game just got equalized. He's going to bring his offense up to the plate here and see if they can make a difference against McClanahan. Butler has, won everywhere that he has been. 5 trips to the College World Series as an assistant. He's well versed in Southeastern Conference play, was an assistant with Arkansas and Alabama. Now in his 5th season with the Shockers. And I tell you, a win here would set them up for a very nice week in Clearwater. Potentially get them back into the NCAA tourney.
Gunnar Troutwine, the all-conference catcher, as Todd Butler in his 5th year, 25 years as a Division I head coach. A nice win over Nebraska back on March 2nd. Very good recruiter nationwide. 0-1 on Troutwine, and the windup by McClanahan, swing, and he caps it foul. And quickly McClanahan ahead 0-2, and this is how he needs to start this inning off. Get ahead, pound the strike zone, not fall behind, fill up the count. Troutwine at .316 this year. 7 homers, 48 driven in.
Troutwine, good size up there at the plate. 6'2", 225-pound backstop. He's a senior out of Fairway, Kansas.
The 1-2 delivery, just missed, called strike 3. They'll play him to pull a little bit. Dutka playing up the middle at second. 2-2, up and out. And again, Wichita State has worked a full count despite him falling behind 0-2. He's come back to fill it up. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Reaches out, stays alive. Wichita State this year dominating at home at 23-8-1. Played 500 ball on the road at 11-11. They've got 34 wins coming into their first game of the conference tournament. Popped it up right side. Jador will give it a look, but that's going to make its way about 3 or 4 rows up into the chair backs.
One of those wins at home came off the bat of Gunnar Troutwine. Had a walk-off single and extra innings to beat UT Arlington back on March 11th. First walk-off win for them in a year.
(3-2) up and out, and a leadoff walk. Troutwine has not attempted a stolen base, so that really won't be a threat here. And Noah Croft will try to drive him around the bags. The DH drew a 2-out walk back in the first. Part of back-to-back 2-out walks by Croft and Cadena that would score the first run for the Shockers.
That was the 4th base on balls given up by McClanahan in 2+ innings pitched now.
Leaves it upstairs here in a 1-0 count to Noah Croft. 317 on the year for Croft. Pair of home runs, 11 driven in. Swing and a miss. Reared back on that 1-0 pitch. Croft 314 with the runners on base. Left-hander looks over. Here comes the pitch. Popped it out of play. So again, McClanahan into the count. Remember, he was ahead of Troutwine 0-2 before he lost him. Now ahead of Croft for 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Croft at 6'3", 215 pounds, is a redshirt sophomore out of Olathe, Kansas. Had some friends growing up out of Olathe. That's the only way I know how to pronounce it. But he played in 45 games last year as a freshman, made 34 starts, and hit .250.
Takes it down and away. That'll leave it up at 2-2.
Listed as the #1 catching recruit in the state of Kansas, coming out in 2016.
The 2-2, he holds back on that one, and it drops just a little bit below the knees. So yet another full count here for McClanahan at 3-2 when he was ahead 1-2. So he's been ahead 0-2 and 1-2 to the first two hitters this inning. Called strike 3, got him on the inside. There's one away.
Third strikeout of the game from McClanahan. And you see Croft trying to back up off and influence the umpire's call. No dice. The punch out from McClanahan for the first out of the inning.
Ross Cadena would walk with the bases loaded in the first. That would bring in Genesta from third base. Cadena 256, no homers. He's driven in 8 with that bases loaded RBI. And Troutwine at first after a leadoff walk in the inning. That went inside, backs him off just a bit. They've turned 33 double plays on the year. Wichita State, they've grounded into 44. One-0 comes down and in, and quickly 2-0. Remember, he got ahead of Troutwine and Croft, but he's fallen behind here to Cadena with Jackson on deck. Two-0 now to Cadena. There's the strike on the inside. Now 2-1 count to the left fielder. It'll be the heart of the order due up for the Bulls. In the bottom of the inning, Villar, Genord, and Chatfield. Two-one pitch down and in, 3-1.
Cadena listed as a catcher on the website for Wichita State. He's got 10 starts this year, 17 appearances, most of them in the outfield. He's starting in left today, and after Troutwine graduates, now in his senior year, could be Cadena's job to be the backstop moving forward in 2019.
Hitters count, and here it comes. Strike called on the inside. Now another full count. He's on full count on Troutwine, Croft, now Cadena in the inning.
I think Todd Butler is asking his guys to be just a little bit more conservative up there, make McClanahan throw pitches across the plate, and eventually it could pay dividends for them. Got to protect it here.
There goes the runner, and he swings at ball 4 and strikes out. But Troutwine will go to second base. 2 away now, runner in scoring position for Alex Jackson, who grounded a second in the first. So Troutwine took off on the pitch for that runner in scoring position. And for Troutwine, grabs his first steal of the year. Little hit and run that time. It was a little up and out of the zone, but Cadena trying to project Troutwine would strike out. Now Jackson, a left-hander, a chance for a 2-out RBI. First pitch will be in there for a strike.
Stolen base number 4 in the career of the catcher, Gunnar Troutwine. He had a career high 2 his freshman year.
Well, some fans seeking some refuge under the deck here, getting a little bit of shade. Going to be a sunny day. Had cloudy skies yesterday, but a nice day to work on the tan if you want to, or just find some shade and try to stay cool. Talking about Troutwine, those guys like that love to grab the stolen base when they can. I asked Todd Whitting one time what was more of a thrill for Joe Davis, to get a home run or grab a stolen base every now and then. He doesn't have any this year. He grabbed one last year. He said it's a pretty big thrill when Big Joe gets going. I would not be one of the guy covering the bag when Joe Davis comes bearing down. High chopper up the middle. Tough play. Montez makes it look easy, but he will not get it over there in time. He got the pickup, but Jackson will leg out the infield single, and that'll put Troutwine at third.
Despite the call at first base, those are the plays that we've expected to see by Montez. Made that look easy. That transition from glove to throwing hand was just spectacular there and was an eyelash away from getting him out at first. Let's take a look at the replay. Such a quick transition over to first, and I think his left foot was down on the bag just in time to be safe.
So that'll give Travis Young an opportunity to drive in his 21st. He flew to left field in the second. At the least, that's going to extend the inning. With McClanahan at 83 pitches. Ball on the inside will miss 1-0. They'll soft toss the first just to give him a little bit of a look. Jackson this year has stolen a pair. One-0 pitch, swing and a miss.
The Shockers already with 4 hits in today's ball game. Wichita State averages 10 hits a night and almost 7 runs scored per game on offense.
Doing a nice job here against McClanahan. Even though it's tied at 1, they've been able to work him a bit. They put multiple runners on base each inning. 4 in the first, 2 an inning ago, 2 here in the third. 1-1 inside under the elbows. That'll make it a 2-1 count. They've worked in numerous full counts.
Keelan Kilgore for Wichita State has remained up in the bullpen during this at-bat for his offense. Maybe it's a short hook for Keller for the start of the next inning, or maybe Kilgore will come out of the pen.
Now Kilgore's, rather not Kilgore, but Keller has had his pitch count elevated. The USF offense doing a nice job of that as well. A lot of full counts in this game. Here's a fly ball in the right field. Zek is over. That'll end it. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left on base. So we're moving to the bottom of the third inning. We're tied at 1 and down on the field, and we're going to get a little interactive with our audience. Here's Haley Allen.
We have just about over 500 viewers tuning in with us on Facebook Live bright and early this morning, watching some great baseball out here in this beautiful weather. And we have our first trivia question of the day. So we want to know how many total appearances combined all 9 teams in the American have made in the NCAA tournament. Whoa. So we're looking for a grand total. All 9 of our teams, how many appearances have they made in the NCAA tournament? We're going to be monitoring your comments, and we'll let you know who's right.
Thank you very much, Haley. And then again, if you can guess how many total appearances the teams have made, just message Haley on Facebook Live, and we'll let you know who the winner is. We're trying to maybe add another 4 or 5, or who knows how things could fall if we get up to 6. But we have another exciting matchup next. The upstart Cincinnati Bearcats and Jim Pender's UConn Huskies, and it looks like we may be going to the bullpen as Kilgore is going to go ahead and come in here in the bottom of the third.
So a new pitcher coming in for the Shocker Baseball Club, and that'll put 2 innings on the board for Keller, who allows 1 run on 3 hits. They'll bring in another lefty to try and slow down this USF lineup.
Keller, 2 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned, a pair of walks, 3 strikeouts. He threw 51 pitches, 34 strikes.
Keelan Kilgore, 23 appearances on the year and just 1 start, the rest in relief. He's 3-1 with a 3-flat ERA. In 33 innings pitched, he's given up 32 hits, 16 runs, 11 were earned. He struck out 33 in 33 innings, walked 18. Opponents are hitting a pretty healthy 256 against him.
So Kilgore, so 1-1 ball game. Again, as Kilgore taking over here in Clearwater. And again, we have another game going on. Houston and UCF. At last checked, it was Houston with the lead. So the Cougars again leading UCF early in their elimination game this morning.
Sun shining brightly here in the St. Pete Clearwater area. You can learn more at visit stpeteclearwater.com. Beautiful day for baseball. We're glad you're with us on the American Digital Network. Keelan Kilgore in the game for Wichita State. He is a Wichita native and a redshirt sophomore for Coach Butler, standing 6'3", 175 pounds. He'll come out to work the third.
So here is David Villar. He'll lead things off at fielder's choice.
Third baseman David Villar.
Villar all-conference fielder's choice back in the first. Outfield straight away. Now here comes Kilgore's first pitch of the ball game. High fly ball into center field. Young jogging in. Makes the catch as Jackson ran right behind him, and there's a one away. Joe Genord walked back in the first, an all-conference performer.
First baseman Joe Genord.
So one up and one down for Kilgore. Pretty efficient there. Swing and a miss, one of the outer half, and quickly 0-1. Oh, and 1. Oh, 1 pitch. That one is fouled off. Quickly 0-2 here to the all-conference first baseman Joe Genord again. Walk back in the first. Genord, 315, 12 homers, 44 driven in. Gets a nobody on and one away. Oh, 2 pitch. Upstairs. 1-2. Wasted that one. Couldn't get Genord to chase after it. After Genord finishes his plate appearance, we'll check in with Haley Outen down on the field. Genord now 1-2. Nobody on and one away. Kilgore now with the offering, leaves it just outside now. 2-2. And big swing and a miss, and there's 2 away on the strikeout while we have a second. Down on the field. Let's go back downstairs to Haley Outen.
We do promise trivia is going to get a little tougher as the day goes on. We realize we put the question up, and I was so impressed that these answers were coming in quickly. We have some quick counters out there, but Nicole Nolan, she was at least paying attention because she answered with 148. So we'll give her all the credit. We'll say she knew it anyways, even if she didn't notice it on the graphic. But that is the answer. A combined 148 NCAA tournament appearances for all 9 teams in the American. So great job, Nicole.
Well, I would say Nicole did a nice job of paying attention. I would say
right.
You got to credit her for paying attention to the graphic. Here's Chris Chatfield, who's walked and pops it up into the left. Cadena comes in, and that'll be our first 1-2-3 inning of the ball game. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We played 3 complete. Wichita State and USF, they are tied at 1 from Clearwater.
7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
Power comes in all forms. Power is a big tackle,
a big save,
a clutch hit,
and a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right.
Power is respecting an opponent, officials,
student athletes, coaches, and team representatives.
Power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments,
profanities, or other improper actions
while at the game.
The American.
Power.
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 Power for life.
Well, we've completed 3 innings here in the first game of day number 2. We have a pair of games going on, UCF and Houston. And Houston had the early lead in that ball game. Right now we are tied at 1 here at Spectrum Field. 1-1 between Wichita State, who grabbed a bases loaded walk in the first inning to grab a quick 1-0 lead. And then it was Coco Montez with an RBI double with a pair of outs in the second to tie it up. Kilgore now in for Keller, and McClanahan going to come out, and he'll remain in the ball game. Pitch count up to 87 right now for McClanahan as he'll face 9-1-2 Boyer, Ritter, and Genesta. I'm Jeff Breivold alongside Garrett Walvert, and nice to see the sun out here today, Garrett, after cloudy skies yesterday and a little bit of rain.
Got to get 3 games in on this field, 3 games in on the one past us in left field. Haley Outen made reference to the entire conference making 148 trips to regionals. These 4 teams combined have made 16 trips to the College World Series. University of Houston with 2, UConn with 5. Tulane made a pair of trips in the 2000s under Rick Jones, and Wichita State with 7 appearances for a combined 16 World Series trips.
0-1 here to Boyer, who struck out looking back in the second. Fouls it off, and he's down 0-2. 259 on the year for Boyer. 3 home runs and 19 driven in. So again, Boyer will dig in down 0-2. He's going to have to protect the plate here. This time McClanahan comes right at him. Swing and a miss, and there's 1 away. That'll bring up Luke Ritter. Ritter is 1 for 2. He flew to right in the first. He would single in the second. Fastball there. Didn't opt to waste it down that pitch count high, and that's what an experienced pitcher like McClanahan will do. He knows his pitch count's up. Can't afford to waste a lot now.
Now 5 punch-outs in the ball game for Shane.
1 up and out, ball 1 here. Ritter extended his hitting streak to 10 games with that single in the second inning. A 1-0 delivery. Up and out again. Second time he's gone up and out on Ritter. 343 this year for Luke Ritter with 6 homers and 29 driven in. (2-0). Strike call, breaking ball. Well, he stayed away from Ritter so far. Phillips Stunkel Jr. is Zach straight away in the outfield. Infield laying back here on the leadoff man of the order. Nobody on and 1 away. 2-1 comes down and in on him for the first time. A 3-1 count, hitters count for Ritter. 23 walks and 39 strikeouts for the junior second baseman. Strike call on the inside. Full count, 3-2.
Ritter at 6 foot, 190 pounds, out of Overland Park, Kansas. Played 3 years of football growing up in high school, 2 years of baseball.
Ground ball base hit through the left side of the infield. Second hit of the day for Luke Ritter. So the go-ahead run on base of 1 out for the All-American Grayson Genesta, who has walked in the first and singled in the second.
Ritter with a nice piece of hitting there. Went down to get it and doing exactly what you want your leadoff hitter to do. Set the table. Get on base. There's only 1 out in front of him. Maybe you can get aggressive. Put him in motion here with the left-hander coming to the plate.
Well, they sent Gunnar Troutwine an inning ago for his first stolen base of the season. Ritter with 5. And again, Dietrich has thrown out 19 this season. Here's a ball down and away, 1-0 to Genesta. Lofty matchup. Ground ball to short, should be 2. Montez steps on the bag himself, goes to first, and the old 6-3 double play will end the inning. That's the 34th that USF's turn, the 45th Wichita State's hit into this year, so no runs. 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the 4th, still tied at 1.
Oh, that ball is hit deep. Left field. Way back. That ball is gone.
Double play ball potentially Streitenstall's over to first. In time, double play, and that ends the game.
Well, we move along to the bottom of the fourth inning here in Clearwater, Florida at Spectrum Field, home of the Philadelphia Phillies during their spring training and then the Threshers throughout the summer. Been here for quite a while. A beautiful facility that the Phillies have down here, and the American has enjoyed every year we've been down here. And again, as we've talked about a couple of times, all the spring training facilities always are the auxiliary fields once they have spring training and they have everyone for the minor league system, but that also affords us the opportunity not to have to get backed up due to weather. And again, a great job by the Phillies, and again, a tip of the cap to the American Conference administration and staff being proactive this week.
J.D. Dutka will come to the plate. He'll see Keelan Kilgore, who's back out for his second inning of relief. He came in last inning and held the Bulls scoreless on the board. Back out for inning 2.
Joe Dutka will dig in, a 300 hitter now on the season with 2 home runs and 26 driven in. And Kilgore delivers the first pitch, popped it up on the infield. Troutwine, the catcher, calling for it. Dumps the mask, makes the catch, 1 away. That's really a much more difficult catch than you would think, straight up to the catcher. Number one, trying to turn yourself around, get the best angle on it, see if the wind's going to blow it anywhere, and he's looking straight up
into the sun.
Yep. Fortunately for him, he was able to angle himself just away from it. Had he turned to the right and tried to make the catch, that would have been right in his face. And then the wind was pushing the ball a little bit away from him, as you can see. Kyle Phillips singled and scored in the first. 328 on the year. Kilgore drops a strike in there quickly. 0-1. 11 doubles, 5 home runs, 19 driven in for Kyle Phillips. And again, they're getting a little chirping out of the USF dugout, and Jim Shaley looks like he's going to issue a warning.
He just addressed Billy Mole by first name.
So it will be an official warning from Jim Shaley, and he said the next time he's got to send somebody packing. So here is Kyle Phillips again. Behind the count, 0-1, we're ready to go. Kilgore's retired all 4 Bulls that he's faced since coming in an inning ago, including a strikeout of Joe Genord. 0-1, ground ball to first. Picked up on the short hop by Jennison. Nice play on that little short hop. 2 outs for Garrett Zek, who struck out in the second.
Pulls it to the right side of the infield. First baseman will take it unassisted. Jennings does look pretty sharp out there.
Just a tough play when it gets on you like that. You take a look at that first high hop. You think it's going to take that nice one into you, and you kind of in between. Do you come up? Do you lay back? And probably made a smart play, because if he lays back and it takes the high hop, may bounce over his head. Zek 0 for 1, 253, and a ground ball left side past the diving Bohm into left field. So Zek is aboard with 2 outs. And that's the first Bull to reach against Kilgore after he retired the first 5 he faced.
Now 4 hits in the ball game for the Brahman Bulls. This one's low as well, and just does a nice job pulling it through the left side. Bohm can't quite catch up to it, and a 2-out single.
Well, at the very least, that brings Dietrich to the plate here this inning. If they retire Dietrich, you at least have the top of your order hitting in the 5th inning. Dietrich 279, a home run, 32 driven in. You'll have to watch for Zek. He has 12 stolen bases this year. So they may try to get him in motion, at least to get a runner in scoring position, potentially for Dietrich. So you got to face a left-handed pitcher.
Dietrich was the last batter that Keller faced, the starter for Wichita State. He struck him out for the second out of the inning.
So 1-0 now to Dietrich. Dietrich off the handle. Shallow fly ball to the right side. That's going to drop in, and Zach goes all the way to third base. Heads up base running. Zach never stopped. So a couple of 2-out singles down 90 feet away for Coco Montez, and he had the RBI double with 2 outs in the second.
Opposite field, went off the end of the bat. That one will drop, and you mentioned it. Zach just speeding through second base. He scored 39 runs on the year, showcases the speed there. Two-out hitting, the key to life, especially if you want to win baseball games. And now the top of the order will come to the plate with two on.
Both clubs at a 3 for 6, hitting .500 with a pair of outs in an inning. Coco Montez, 325, a 344 hitter with 2 outs. Again, had the 2-out RBI double in the second. See if he can come through again as he misses on one that comes down and in.
Montez with the game's only extra base hit, that double in the second. Drove in USF's only run.
The 0-1 from Kilgore. And a dirt nice stop by Troutwine. Again, they've got Zach at third, Dietrich over at first base. 0 for 1 this year.
Montez from the Miami area, hit .400 in high school, was drafted in the 35th round by the Washington Nationals. Now in his 3rd season with USF.
1-1. Takes a strike. Up and out, now 1-2. Speaking of the draft, we're what, a couple of weeks away. I believe June 4th this year. Going to be the draft. See a lot of these American Conference players you see out here this week. 1-2. Leaves it down low now, 2-2.
I definitely think for Wichita State, highest guy to go could be Alec Boehm, who, you know, was a Conference Player of the Year candidate, Hauser and Golden Spikes Award semifinalist. You'll see Shane McClanahan, who everyone's been talking about it all year long. A redshirt sophomore, throws mid-90s. He could be a first-round pick, maybe a top 10 pick.
2-2. In the dirt again, Troutwine able to smother it. 3-2. Kilgore retired the first 5, but he's run into a little bit of trouble. Zach single to left field. Dietrich floated one into right, and now a full count to Montez. The 3-2 pitch. Runner at first goes. It'll be a dead ball as he walks him. Back-to-back hits and a walk have loaded the bases with a pair of outs for Duke Stunkel Jr., who's 1 for 2.
Second time today that USF has loaded the bases. Big-time hitter coming to the plate here, and the starting center fielder for the Bulls.
Well, it's Wichita State who's second in the nation in grand slams, but Duke Stunkel Jr. has an opportunity to give one to the Bulls. 200 hitter with the bases loaded. 349 overall. Pair of homers and 23 runs batted in. So back-to-back singles and a walk. Kilgore fastball, swing and a miss. 0-1.
Stunkel also from the Miami area, just like Coco Montez. He was from Palm Beach Gardens. His father played football for the U, was a Hurricane letterman. And Duke's certainly inherited his size at 6'4", over 210 pounds.
The The 0-1 fouls it off the mask of Troutwine.
We've been so focused on the velocity from McClanahan. That one 92 miles an hour from Keelan Kilgore for Wichita State.
So now Kilgore a strike away from getting out of the fourth. Heart of the order coming up, reaches out, grounds it to Genesta at first. That'll end the inning. He went after a waste pitch, and Kilgore gets out of trouble. No runs on a pair of hits, no errors, 3 left on. We played 4 complete. We're still tied at 1. We are just one of 2 games in progress right now here in Clearwater, and Haley Outland is going to update us on our other game.
Over at the other complex, Houston and UCF battling it out in this elimination game. We're heading into the bottom of the 5th. Houston up 4-2. So good game brewing over on the other field, but a lot at stake as it's an elimination game. So 4-2.
Here at Spectrum Field, we're tied at 1. The 5th inning is on the way on the American Digital Network.
Wichita State University is Shocker Nation. We exceed expectations, push boundaries, seize opportunities, and move boldly ahead. We are student-centered and innovation-driven. It's who we are. Our vision is simple but powerful. Create, innovate, collaborate, and celebrate. With one unifying purpose: to shock the world.
There are other people just like you. Driven, determined. Those who use passion to spark creation. Others who are ready to unite and discover together. It all starts with you and continues with us, the University of South Florida.
5 strikeouts today for Shane McClanahan as we head to the top of the 5th, tied at 1. And here's how he's done. He's done a nice job of mixing speeds. He's done it a variety of ways. Just a high heat there, letter high. Now comes inside and freezes him with 2 strikes. And again, just the power pitches on the inside as McClanahan got his pitch count up early, but has been able to get out of trouble every time. He's given up just the 1 run so far. As you see, his 5 punch outs so far this afternoon. Here we go. It's going to be Bohm, Troutwine, and Croft, the heart of the order for Wichita State. Started off with Bohm. 1 for 2, a single on the first, flew to right in the second. Here's pitch 100, and he hits a deep fly ball into right center field. But Zuck had him played back, tracked it down, and there's 1 out. That'll bring up Gunnar Troutwine, the all-conference catcher, who is 0 for 1 with a walk.
Just ran into Tulane broadcaster Todd Graffinini. Asked him if he had scouted out his perch over at the Robin Roberts Field. He said he has. Loves the spot. He's right over home plate, and they're ready to roll.
Now, Todd Graffinini does it old school. He has the, and for those of you unfamiliar with the broadcasts, we have some of the fans hanging out over the wall this afternoon on the hill. Swing and a miss. You're unfamiliar probably with the broadcast equipment, but viewers and listeners know most of us wear the headsets, keep hands free. We have papers shuffling around. Todd has his unit that it works off the internet, Ethernet, and it can go wireless, but he still likes the handheld. So he's going to have the ability over there if he gets wireless to just walk around the ballpark, call the game. A couple weeks ago when Memphis was down in New Orleans, he called a game from an equipment shack out on left center field, had a little kiddie pool down at the bottom of it. He could go take a dip in every couple innings. Todd's one of the best guys you're going to meet in the league.
You got to love college baseball.
Yeah.
That's spectacular.
Todd is very likely to walk around in his ball game over there and just sit next to the fans and have a conversation with them during that game. Here's a ball down and away. So Bohm flies around right. Troutwine down to the count 1-2. Maybe some broadcasters today doing the old cell phone broadcast. 1-2 now to the all-conference catcher. What do they teach you when you start broadcast school in college or you go to one of the trade schools? Find a way to get on air.
Volunteer your time. That's the best way to get on.
Rolls it foul. Still 1-2 to Troutwine. 316 on the year. 7 homers, 48 driven in. And again, speaking of that, great job by Scott Railing and the ADN crew to be able to get a camera set up on the alternate field and get a stream for those fans, as USF now has the bullpen going with McClanahan over 100 pitches. Ball high, evens it up at 2-2.
Sophomore Noah Yeager looked to be warming up for the Bulls over the wall.
Two pitch. Swing and a miss. 6 strikeout today now for McClanahan.
Troutwine retired for the second time today, both by strikeouts. That one a little bit elevated, and he just couldn't catch up with the heat.
Noah Croft would walk in the first, struck out looking back in the third. 311 hitter, but 083 with a pair of outs in an inning. Takes a ball outside, quickly ahead, 1-0. Both teams with a run early in the ball game. It's been 0 since then. 2-0 with the ball below the knees. Large and Or Chatfield, as USF will have the heart of their order due up in the bottom of the 5th. So both teams right on the same pace as far as going through the order right now. Both teams with a run and 5 hits and 7 left on base. 3-0 count down to Noah Croft. And he walks on 4 straight with 2 outs. Second walk of the day for Noah Croft. While Cadena, who drove in the only run with a bases loaded walk back in the first, comes up. He struck out in the third.
Well, McClanahan has gone deep into ball games. He's pitched 7 innings or more 4 times this season. But certainly at 110 pitches has to be nearing a high pitch count for 2018.
Up and in. That's the 5th straight ball now for McClanahan.
Last time he went 7 innings in a game was against Memphis. That was at the end of April.
One-0 strike call to the outside.
One of his signature performances from earlier in the year came against Army when he had a team high 15 strikeouts.
Tosses over to first. Croft back in. Is Croft just 1 for 3 this year on steals. Duckett playing toward the bag from second base. Croft leaning. Comes to the plate. Drives one into right center field. Long way to go. Diving and coming out with a tremendous grab as Duke Stunkel Jr. to end the inning.
Stunkel, the veteran center fielder, absolutely laid out for that ball.
No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left on base. We're halfway through, and we're still tied at 1.
7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle,
a big save,
a clutch hit,
and a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right.
Power is respecting an opponent, officials,
student athletes, coaches, and team representatives.
Power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments,
profanities, or other improper actions
while at the game.
The American.
Power.
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 Power for life.
Well, a new league for Wichita State, and several of the Shocker fans have made their way down here to Clearwater, Florida. They'll seek a little bit of the shade, but I'm sure they'll get out in the sun later this week as they see their Wichita State Ball Club tied at 1 with the number 2 seed in the field, the USF Bulls. Mostly clear skies today, some clouds out of the distance, but blue skies over the complex here in Clearwater.
Maybe the most important pitching for Keelan Kilgore of the season. He's got to face the heart of the order for USF, Villar, Genord, and Chatfield, but we're in a tie ball game. And if they've just seen the very end of McClanahan, who's now up over 110 pitches, if he can keep it scoreless here and get his offense back, they'll have a serious chance maybe getting into the USF bullpen to try and take a lead.
Kilgore was cruising along. He retired the first 5 he faced, but then a pair of singles and a walk got him into a jam before he got Stunkel Jr. to ground out last inning. Let's see what he does here. Villar, high chopper to third, 1 hopper to Bohm, and 1 away, 1 pitch and 1 out. Got to bring up Joe Genord, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. 313 on the year for Genord with 12 homers and 44 RBI.
Nice job by Kilgore there to retire the dangerous hitting Villar, who's got 33 extra base hits on the year, 21 doubles, 12 home runs, only took him a pitch.
Still a 1-1 ball game here in Clearwater. Swing and a miss, and again at last check, bottom of the 5th, Houston was leading UCF in the elimination game. Oh, 1-2 Genord. Strike 2, taken on the outer half.
Houston, of course, won the conference tournament last year. UCF made the semifinals. 2 wins. Tough to wake up and see an elimination game at 9 a.m., but that'll have them both ready.
0-2. That's always the key to those 9 a.m. games, especially on elimination day. Team that can get going first is usually the team with a very big advantage. Nothing like some 7 a.m. BP. Here's the 1-2. Called strike 3 on the outside, 2 away. Second strikeout for Kilgore. Got to bring up Chris Chatfield, who's 0 for 1, a walk and a fly out. Nice job.
5th total strikeout of the game for the Wichita State staff. And now Chatfield will come in. He's hit a couple of balls very hard in today's game, but he did draw a walk back in the first.
253, a pair of homers, 24 driven in. He has 10 doubles as well. Takes one inside. The walk he grabbed in the first, just his 17th of the year.
3 years ago, Chatfield, coming out of high school in Riverview, selected in the 23rd round of the baseball draft by San Diego. Decided to come to USF. He was a .440 hitter in high school. That's a pretty good area to play, too.
I don't care what level you're at. 440 is 440.
Chatfield played in the Perfect Game All-Star Game, was an All-American as a junior in high school. And if that pipeline of amateur players can keep coming to USF and UCF from the Tampa Bay area, both programs will continue to excel.
1-1 left to just upstairs, a little bit over the letters. Two and 1. Breaking ball leaves it high. 3-1 hitters count now to Chris Chatfield. They'll move Young a little bit toward the left side and center. Hitters count. Swing and a miss, went after the high heat. And now Kilgore strike away from retiring his 4th straight. 7, 8, 9, Jackson, Young, and Boyer coming to the plate in the 6th for the Shockers. Comes in, popped him up on the infield, and Kilgore's going to call everyone off. And now here it comes. Boyer from short makes the catch, running over the mound.
Fantastic 1, 2, 3 inning there for Kilgore. What can Wichita State do to try and push another run across coming up in the next inning?
Oh, that ball is hit deep. Left field. Way back. That ball is gone.
Double play ball potentially striking Stalls over to first. In time, double play, and that ends the game.
Well, the Shockers hoping, their fans hoping they can get something going. They have seen the last of McClanahan. 5 innings, 5 hits, a run it was earned, 5 walks, 6 strikeouts through 110 pitches, 62 strikes, and Garrett headed to the bullpen.
Well, they've got a new pitcher coming in, and it's Noah Yeager. They'll keep it with the left-handers. Excited to see what this young man can bring to the hill for USF. This is an important part of the ballgame now, facing the Wichita State order with a chance to maybe take a lead, maybe change the flavor of this ballgame. Yeager on the year, 2.97 ERA, 2 wins, no losses. He's made 12 appearances, all but one of them in relief. 33 in the 3rd innings pitched. He's given up 29 hits, 11 earned runs, struck out 34, and opponents are hitting .242 against the southpaw.
He'll face Alex Jackson, Travis Young, and Jordan Boyer. 7, 8, 9 here in the Wichita order. And they strung some runners together the first 2 innings. In fact, they got 2 on in the 3rd, but after the 3rd, only a base hit, any walk in the 4th and the 5th as McClanahan settled down. And you got to tip your cap to McClanahan. Yeah, he got his pitch count elevated in the 1st, but every time he needed a big pitch to get out of trouble, he was able to do it. I often think that it's better sometime when scouts are watching you. Maybe you don't have your best stuff, but can you grind through that? It's easy when you're feeling good and mowing them down. It looks great. Here's a hard hit ball to second base. Dutka over to first. But if I'm a scout, Garrett, I want to see some guys, maybe if it's not their best day, be able to pitch their way through the ball game.
Showed that he's a winner, was able to do that here, and kept his team in great position to compete through the final innings of this ball game.
Travis Young's over 2. He's been in the air twice to Phillips in left field. 257 on the year for Travis Young with a home run and 20 RBI. He's got 11 doubles as well. So Yeager, the left-hander, leaves it down and out to Young for a ball.
Yeager listed at 6'4", 207 pounds, out of Davie, Florida.
.1-0 ground ball to short. Montez over to first and quickly 2 down. So Yeager's come in, kept the ball low, induced a couple of ground outs. He's got Jordan Boyer, who struck out twice, once looking and once swinging in the 2nd and the 4th.
I think that was probably a perfect time to take McClanahan out of the ballgame. The pitch count was elevated and the chance to bring in Yeager to face the bottom 7, 8, 9 of the order, get him a little confidence going in instead of going right off the bat next inning against Ritter, Genista, and Bohm, of course, just an all-conference selection.
Lar even with a bag on the 0-1 count. Drives one to center field. Stunkle Jr. races in and makes the catch on the line out. A quick 1-2-3 inning for Yeager coming out of the bullpen. No runs, no hits, no errors. There's nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th. We are tied at 1. Well, we've talked about these players being in Clearwater for the tournament. They stay over in Clearwater Beach, all of the teams, and they always try to find a way. They usually don't have any trouble staying busy. With more on that, let's go down to the field with Haley Alton.
For USF, it's a short trip to Clearwater, obviously just down the road from campus. So the Bulls came to Clearwater on Sunday night, but then they actually went back to campus on Monday to lift. So they've been back and forth from here to campus a little bit, but in their spare time, because of the weather, most of them have been in their rooms playing the game Fortnite. So I don't know much about Fortnite, but I've heard it a lot. Apparently everybody all over the country is playing it. So maybe you guys can enlighten me, or maybe fans on Facebook here can enlighten me. But between Fortnite and then during the occasional rays of sunshine, spike ball on the beach, that's what the Bulls have been up to while they're not focusing on baseball.
Thanks, Haley. Well, I know spike ball's become a real popular game, and I've heard of Fortnite, but I don't play it. I would assume it's the new Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know. I don't want to insult anyone.
The new Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Yeah, there you go.
It must be nice when finals are over and you're in college and you've got a little spare time on your hands. They need to do what they can do to decompress, because these are some high-intensity games here in Clearwater. Good to see that the college students are having fun.
There's no Top Gun beach volleyball games going on out on the beach right now. And they've moved to spike ball.
Little Kenny Loggins in the background. No.
So it'll be Kilgore remaining out there to throw. It'll be Dutka, Phillips, and 6, 7, and 8 in the order.
You know what we haven't seen as this game moves along is the teams that are coming up after us, Cincinnati and Connecticut. Sometimes they'll hang out in the grandstand, watch the opponents, maybe try and scout them a little bit, but neither team has been seen. They might be warming up in an unconventional place. Normally they'd be right over the wall, but with another game going on.
Well, this morning when I came in, USF was hitting at one of the indoor tunnels directly below us. So if the field's taken up, and of course the Phillies and their probably extended spring training, short season guys that get sent down here for rehab, the fields may be taken off. So they may be taking some BP in the tunnels right now. I'm sure they're thankful for it to be in the shade if that's what's happening. 0-1 quickly to Dutka. There's going to be 8 teams here at one time, though, as we transition into the second round of games today. There's a fastball outside. So for a brief time this week, everyone's going to be together at once. 1-1 now to Dutka. Kilgore delivers it. Going to be popped up on the infield. Boyer at shortstop makes a catch, and there's one away. 5 straight now retired by Kilgore.
Left-hander's doing a fine job for the Shockers right now, just kind of settling down the USF bats. He's certainly in a groove. Kyle Phillips will come up for USF to try and break his rhythm.
So nobody on and 1 out. After this batter and Kyle Phillips, we will go down to Haley Alton. After Kyle Phillips here, he is 1 for 2, singled in the second and scored the only run. He grounded at first in the 4th. And the pitch is going to be down and away. 1-0 quickly to Phillips again. 1 for 2 this afternoon, or this morning. 326 for Phillips so far this season. 5 homers and 19 RBI. Lefty-lefty matchup. Phillips takes a strike on the outside. That'll leave it up at 1-1. Kilgore from the stretch delivers a strike at the knees.
Phillips in his first season with USF, a junior college transfer out of Gainesville, where he went to Santa Fe College and hit .337. He's made his way into 48 games, started 46 of them.
Swing and a miss with a breaking ball. Troutwine will have to throw him out. There's 2 away. Now that's 6 straight retired by Troutwine. or rather Kilgore, as he retires Phillips. And here is Zach. Zach 1 for 2, struck out of the second with single and was stranded at third in the fourth. He got that 2-out single, followed by Diedrich, then the walk by Montez before they retired Stunkel in the fourth inning. They're going to come in at the corners just a bit, anticipate a potential bunt by Zach. At least Bonewell at third. Jennist is over a little bit. He's way off the bag at first. Pitch is down and in. Haley Outen is down there. Didn't get to her between batters. But Haley, I think you've got an update on what's going on at the other field.
I do. A quick update from Robin Roberts Field. We heard that in the third inning, Tyler Bilamovich hit the 2-run homer. And then in the sixth, Joe Davis hit a home run. So a little bit of deja vu from yesterday with both of these guys homering. But today, the Cougs finding their bats a little bit earlier, and they're up 5-2 in the bottom of the sixth.
Big Joe making an early run, a potential an all-tournament selection with 2 bombs.
Both games in the bottom of the sixth moving along well. Kilgore now with 3 strikeouts. He's set down 6 in a row.
The 0-2 from Kilgore. Just missed. The infield thought he had strike 3. Well, right now you're on Jim Shaley's good side. He issued the warning to USF a few innings ago. Ball and 2 strikes now to Zek. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout. 7 straight retired by Kilgore. No runs, no hits, no errors. No one left on base. We are through 6 here at Spectrum Field. The Bulls and the Shockers are still tied at 1.
Wichita State University is Shocker Nation. We exceed expectations, push boundaries, seize opportunities, and move boldly ahead. We are student-centered and innovation-driven. It's who we are. Our vision is simple but powerful. Create, innovate, collaborate, and celebrate. With one unifying purpose: to shock the world.
There are other people just like you. Driven, determined. Those who use passion to spark creation. Others who are ready to unite and discover together. It all starts with you and continues with us, the University of South Florida.
Well, we're moving along to the 7th inning, still tied at 1 between the 7-seed Wichita State Shockers and the 2-seed the USF Bulls. Meanwhile, as Haley just updated you over at the Carpenter Complex at Robin Roberts Field, Houston trying to stay alive. The regular season champ, they're doing a good job. Tyler Bilamovich, Joe Davis, and homer. They lead UCF 5-2 in that elimination ball game. 6 games going on today between 2 different fields. And again, there are alternate streams, not only for the game you're watching here, but if you want to bounce over and watch the stream of the game at Carpenter Field, they've got a single camera shoot with Jeff Sharon, who's joined us the last several years. And again, a great job by our staff to be able to get both sets of games, because at first we thought we'd only have the Spectrum Field games, but you're going to be able to watch all the games from the American Championships.
Top of the 7th, next game coming up, Cincinnati and Connecticut. Things about to get tougher for the reliever Noah Yeager. He set down the side 1-2-3, but now he'll face the top of the order. The top 3 hitters for Wichita State today are combined 4 of 8. 2 of those hits belong to the leadoff man, Luke Ritter.
Here we go. First pitch on the way as a strike at the knees to Ritter, 0-1. Again, 2 hits today. No trouble extending that hit streak to 10 games. Line up in the 0-1 pitch is up and in. So a 1-1 count to Ritter. Ritter hitting .346, .398 when he leads an inning off. Well, runs are at a premium, obviously, just a 1-1 ball game, but you're getting into the latter third of this ball game. 1-1, down and in, 2-1. It's going to be 9-1-2 due up for USF. So only a batter off of these two teams through the lineup. It's been very, very even. 1 run, 5 hits for both teams. 8 left on for the Shockers, 7 left on for the Bulls. That ball goes high. 3-1, a hitter's count. We'll have a lot of people buzzing around here within the next hour or so, with all 4 teams, for the teams in progress, and the next 4 teams waiting to play. That's going to be low to get through Dietrich, but the runner's going to stop at first. So it's going to be a leadoff walk to Luke Ritter. He's been on 3 times today, and then I'll bring up Grayson Genista, who is 1 for 2. He also drew a walk and scored the only run for the Shockers.
Genista, first team preseason All-American by Baseball America, D1 baseball, perfect game in collegiate baseball, had all the accolades going into the season, and he has delivered. Dangerous at bat from the left side coming up.
So 1-1. We want you to stick around between innings. We're going to have a special treat for you between innings here. Here's the first pitch on the way. Off the end of the bat, floats it into center. That's going to fall in front of Duke Stunkel Jr. So the Shockers have something working here in the 7th with the first 2 men aboard.
Take a look at the hit. Just lifts this one into shallow center field. Stunkel tries to hold the runner by faking that he's going to make the catch. 2 on, nobody out. And here comes the big man, Alec Bohm.
It's the guy you want up here, Alec Bohm, the third baseman, 1 for 3, singled back on the first. He's flown to right twice since then. The preseason All-American. Well, a fly ball to right here would at least get Ritter over to third, but he's thinking more than that. Bohm with 15 home runs wants to open this ball game up. 332, 311 runners on base. Breaking ball just down and in. Will miss 1-0. Ritter at second. Genista at first. Yeager with a look back to second. Up and out, 2-0. So Bohm's really going to be able to sit on one here. Advantage count at 2 balls, no strikes. They've got Phillips deep in left field. And he rips that one into left. 1 run's going to score. They may send Genista as well. Ritter's in. Here comes Genista. He's going to score, and it's going to be a 2-run double for the All-American Alec Bohm.
Bohm does a great job of delivering here. A hot shot past the hot corner all the way down in the line in left field. They send both runners from second and first. He jumps out on this ball. See how quick his bat is here. Picks up a pair of RBIs. And more importantly, gives his team the lead here in the top of the 7th inning.
14th double RBIs, 53 and 54 for Alec Bohm. And it's a 3-1 Shocker lead. Gunnar Troutwine 0 for 2 with a walk. First team all conference. 314, 328 with runners in scoring position. He'll roll that foul over to first base. Troutwine has 14 doubles himself with 7 home runs. Well, the potential now, we still have a little way to go, but a potential to see the 7 and the 8 seed win their opening ball games. 0-1 strike called at the letters, 0-2, but you know, USF still has 3 cracks at it, and they're pretty potent on offense with the 132 doubles coming into the week.
Troutwine for his career, more than 115 runs driven in, 17 home runs. Got a man in scoring position here.
Down the line, it'll tail foul, slicing into the chairbacks.
For Troutwine, the right-hander really wants to try and pull the ball here. The wind blowing in hard through the flags in right center field. It's going to knock anything down that's headed out in the right field in Zek's way.
The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Third time today they've struck out Troutwine. There's one away, and then I'll bring up Noah Croft. 0 for 1. 2 walks and a strikeout.
Breaking ball on the outside part of the plate, 81 miles an hour, and that was not what Troutwine was guessing.
Noah Croft, 311 this season. He's got Bohm at second after his double. Off speed at 82 for a called strike.
I know it's minutia, but how often do you see two guys named Noah facing each other?
That's a good point.
It's a point. I don't know if it's a good one.
0-1, 2 Noahs and no arc right now. 0-1. I hope we don't need one this week. 0-1 pitch is high. That'll even it up at 1-1.
See, that's the low-hanging fruit I wasn't going to go after.
I'm all about the low-hanging fruit.
I see the Tulane Green Wave players taking in the game at Frenchie's. They're in the shade underneath the Tiki Hut. So the Green Wave, who will play at Robin Roberts Field later today, inside the facility.
Swing and a miss. And that's going to really be the place to be, because if they're playing the game on the field, I believe they are, where the teams usually take infield and BP beyond left field. If you can get a good spot at Frenchie's, you can just sit there and watch both games. It's kind of like the USF complex where you can watch the softball and the baseball game at the same time. Maybe we can get set up there, and then we can just call both sets of games.
Sharon might not appreciate that.
1 and 2. We would have only thought of that yesterday. Ball and 2 strikes here to Croft. Ground ball to third. Villar's got it. He'll look the runner back over to first in time. There's 2 outs.
Textbook infielding there. Nice play by Villar, and then Montez on the throw went over to cover third in case Bohm broke for the hot corner.
Ross Cadena, RBI walk in the first. He struck out and flown to center since then. That fly out to center was a diving play by Stunkel Jr. to end the 5th inning.
Cadena has already driven in 1 run in today's ball game. Let's see how well he can see it against Noah Yeager.
.244 at .333 hitter with a pair of outs in an inning. Right-hander digs in against the lefty. Yeager's first pitch is upstairs for ball 1.
Cadena, a freshman out of South Lake, Texas, listed at 5'9", 195.
And again, with 2 outs of the inning, we remind you to stick with us here during the 7th inning stretch. 1-0, popped it foul right side out of play. Evens things up at 1-1.
Well, that was a huge 2 RBI double by Alec Bohm, but I really think the player of the ball game for either team so far is the reliever Keelan Kilgore. I mean, he's done a great job settling down the USF bats and putting his team in position to advance.
Monica Uwe-Genista watching the stream, and Eudora Candace on a big screen and 2 computers. Going to get every angle of it.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for watching on Facebook Live on the American Digital Network Plus 2-1. 2-1 here to Cadena. Off speed. That one's driven into left center field. It's going to hang up, though, in time for Phillips to make the play. So Wichita State will get 2 runs. They did it on the strength of a pair of hits, no errors, to leave but 1 man on base. They take a 3-1 lead as we head to the 7th inning stretch. And so Wichita State grab the lead. It was tied up for a while, but the big 2-run double will give the Shockers the lead. In the meantime, we're going to stay here at Spectrum Field. We're going to head upstairs to Haley Alton. She is with a very, very special person.
I'm taking in the 7th inning stretch, with former Wichita State head coach Gene Stevenson. Coach, it's an honor to be joined by you today, and pretty exciting inning for your Shockers, tacking on a couple runs on the board. But how is your experience going so far in your Florida vacation here at the conference tournament?
Well, it's a beautiful place, obviously, and we've enjoyed our time here already. And the thing that I really like to say is I'm blessed that you even want to talk to me. So but we've had a great time, and the fact of the matter, this marvelous venue for baseball.
We've got a lot of fans out there at Wichita State, especially, that are excited to see you in the stands today. But I have to ask you to take us back a little bit. Wichita State was a program that was not in existence in 1970, and then you took over this program, no fields, no baseballs, and I think at one point you were sharing a practice space with the marching band. How surreal is it to witness all that has happened over that time and to see the Shockers playing here in Clearwater today?
Well, I'll tell you, it was a great time for us. I mean, most people thought we'd lost our ever-loving mind leaving the University of Oklahoma in 1977 to come to a place that had no history of success and certainly had no field, no team, no equipment, no anything. So, but to see that come totally to fruition for us was amazing. We built that facility from one step at a time, slowly, but from the very first start, we had a very competitive team, always a team that played hard and gave a good account of itself. And the fans came, and they came in droves. And when the fans started to come, we definitely were raising money to build seats. And we now have one of the greatest facilities in the country.
I'm sure you're used to taking in the game from the dugout, but I think you have the second best seat in the house here, up in the air conditioning, up on the concourse. But looking back, I guess, and talking about Todd Butler, who took over for you in 2013, how much shop are you guys talking in the season? What is that relationship like?
Well, he came to me this year and he said, I wish you would spend a little more time, with us. And I really appreciated that. And I got the opportunity to get to know these players very well this year. And it was a fun experience for me personally. I was humbled quite a bit by being asked at my age to not be in a position to come out and enjoy the team on the field, at times. So all I can say is I was thankful that he made that move, and for me personally, it gave me a number of times where it just felt like old times again. And I may look old, but I still feel very young at heart.
I know you didn't have a chance to coach in the American Athletic Conference, but all 8 teams here this week in the top 100 RPI, both of these teams here in the top 50 and hoping to make it to the NCAA tournament here this season. What is your impression of this conference with Wichita State playing in it in its first season and the level of competition that you've witnessed?
Well, I think in the Missouri Valley we had very good pitching. Everybody had a good frontline starters with them. But up and down in the lineup, this conference has more quality hitters, more guys who can hurt you. And, today we played very well up to this point, but while we've been on the air, we have a pop-up that falls that shouldn't fall. But, what I've seen in this league is that there are players who can play the game up and down. And the pitching, it was excellent in the Missouri Valley, but it's about the same in the American. It's just that there are more quality players who have a chance in the lineup to beat you.
You mentioned being honored to have Coach come to you and, seek your advice and help. In this game right now, what are the keys for the Shockers to pull out on top and to advance to the winner's bracket?
Well, this team, Wichita State, is very talented, very, very talented. They have not played always up to their potential, but there's a lot of guys in this lineup that are very athletic and have ability to swing the bat, and some have great power. And so, the fact that we're up right now 3-1 is a good sign, but, we've got to hold on to it because South Florida is an excellent team.
Well, thank you, Gene Stevenson, for your time. 36 years at Wichita State. It's an honor to have you here this week in Clearwater, and enjoy your Hall of Fame induction coming up in the Shockers Hall of Fame at the end of this year. So congratulations. Thank you.
Well, that's awful nice of you. But, right now we're looking at a very, very explosive time for South Florida. They've gotten a ball that dropped. Shouldn't have, but they got to run in with a base hit to right. But, I just want to thank you, Haley, for the opportunity to talk because this is an upgrade, I think, for us overall in our conference affiliation to move up into the American. And although I don't know very many coaches personally in this league, I see that they all do an excellent job.
Thank you. We're certainly happy to have the Shockers in the conference, and it seems like a good time to send it back to the booth. Thanks a lot, Gene.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Coach, and thanks a lot, Haley. Dietrich did reach on that air. They charged to Jackson, and the single by Montez makes it a one-run game. Here's a grounder up the middle just in time. Boyer over to first, and did he stay on the bag? Yes, for the 4-3 double play. And again, that is Boyer. They brought Vickers in to play short, and he'll hit in Ritter's spot. Boyer got bounced over to second base. So 2 away in a one-run game.
Take a look at the replay. The throw and the nice little dig at first base gets the double play. Haley mentioned 36 years for Coach Stevenson, never a losing season.
Wow. 7 trips to Omaha, as you mentioned earlier, that national title. 3-2 ball game here after Montez drove in the run. Nobody on 2 away here for Villar. Kilgore staying out in the ball game. Kilgore's gone 4 2/3, 3 hits, a run unearned, a walk, 4 strikeouts in relief.
Mentioned that there wasn't a program before he came there. You had to build the stadium, and I think the most impressive is in '89 when they won the championship. They had to knock the Blue Bloods out to do it. They beat some of the big names and then killed Texas in the championship game. Kind of slayed the dragon for a smaller program that invested in a baseball program and saw immediate results. They had a Hall of Fame coach. They picked the right guy to lead the program, and man, it's history. It's one of the premier programs in all of collegiate baseball.
Entertaining to hear Coach Stevenson talk about they had to share it with the marching band, a practice facility, just to have somewhere to play for the first year. And we saw just a couple years ago someone slay the dragon as Coastal finally broke through, made it to Omaha, and won that title. 2-1 now to Villar. The Americans going to have the opportunity with 4 or 5 teams, as we expect in the NCAA. They'll be spread out among the regionals and see how many of these teams we can get to get through that bracket. 2-1. Strike called on the outside, now 2-2.
Well, I think the NCAA certainly did a good job for college baseball when they lowered roster numbers. That really hurt some of the Blue Bloods. More players available for some of the smaller colleges who decided to invest in baseball, and it paid dividends for them as well. You can only travel 25, 26 kids now, so you've got to pick the best players. You've got to find a way to get some scholarship help, and that's helped a lot of smaller programs.
2-2. Goes after one, fouls it straight back.
Much to the chagrin of some of the Blue Bloods.
Yeah. I think that'll be the next, as you taught through a lot of the baseball coaches, so do I, the next big challenge in college baseball to somehow get that scholarship number up.
11.7 scholarships between 35 players.
2-2. Swing and a miss, so Kilgore gives up a run but gets out of the inning with the lead. 1 run on 1 hit. There was an error, nobody left on base. We have completed 7 here in Clearwater. The Shockers leading the Bulls 3-2 on the American Digital Network.
7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle,
a big save,
a clutch hit,
and a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right.
Power is respecting an opponent, officials,
student athletes, coaches, and team representatives.
Power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments,
profanities, or other improper actions
while at the game.
The American.
Power.
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 Power for life.
Got another game coming up after this. In fact, 2 more games from Spectrum Field, 2 more from the Carpenter Complex. There's one of the teams waiting to play their next game. The Tulane Green Wave has now entered the stadium. They're hanging out Frenchies. They're waiting to face the UConn Huskies. Well, Tulane will be moving over to the other field. We'll see UConn next. They'll face the Cincinnati Bearcats. But the Huskies are now in the stadium here in Clearwater. They'll play the Bearcats next here on this stream. And again, Tulane will be playing over at the Carpenter Complex in the winners bracket, as they'll face the 4-seed East Carolina. ECU and Tulane over at Robin Roberts Field at approximately 12:30. And again, we will have Cincinnati and UConn, the 3-6 matchup, right here on this stream. First pitch is going to be upstairs. Wichita State has 7, 8, and 9 due up in Jackson, Young, and Boyer. Jackson 259 now on the year. Homer and 13 runs batted in. 2-0 is the count to Jackson. Singled in the third. He's grounded out the second on 2 occasions. Strike call to the outside. Two 1 count as Villar is in just a bit at third, but he'll back up now. The foul ball, and now 2 strikes. Just caught a piece of it right into the mitt to Dietrich. Swing and a miss. Got on the high heat. There's 1 out.
Nice offering there by Noah Yeager, who picks up yet another punch out. USF, with the young man up on the hill, has brought up another arm in their bullpen. Yeager keeps this one high, and he can't lay off that. Carson Ragsdale, sophomore right-hander, warming up, number 18 over the left field wall, just in case Yeager falters.
Travis Young is 0 for 3. He's fallen out twice and grounded out to short. A .255 hitter. Drives one into center field, his first hit of the day. So a 1-out single for Travis Young. Went right at him, drives it right up the middle. That'll bring up Jordan Boyer, who's now at second base.
Wichita State now with 8 hits in the ball game. They touch up Young just a little bit, or Yeager there just a little bit, to bring up the bottom of the order, who's looking for his first hit today.
Boyer 255, just a 222 hitter with the runners on base. So Young will take his lead. He is tied with Jennister with 11 steals on the year. So maybe a chance for Wichita State to get motion. And there they go. Little roller on the right side, but they did put Young in motion. Dietrich not bad behind the plate. He's thrown out 19 of 67 this year.
Be interested to see that again. That could have been a hit and run, and at the same time that ball tailed in, heading for the guts of Jordan Boyer. I don't know if he just tried to fight this thing off. Looks like he was committed to swing there, and that one came in on his hands.
0-1 upstairs.
I like what Wichita State is doing here. Their third base coach, very deliberate, sending signals across. And that's going to make the catcher, Dietrich, pop up every time. Saw this one, and he just fights it off on that previous pitch. Put a little pressure on Dietrich. Maybe make him make a throw across the diamond.
1-1. Tipped it in the mid again.
This one right around the letters. And just can't get the bat to catch up with it. We've seen low 90s stuff by Noah Yeager here in relief of the starter, Shane McClanahan, who struck out 6 and allowed 1 run.
1-2. Stays alive as he rattles one in the upper deck into the suites. They do have Dutka playing a little bit up the middle, playing Boyer to pull also to cover the bag in case they put Young in motion again. Ball on 2 strikes.
We saw the UConn Huskies have come into the stadium. No program has won more games here in this tournament other than the U of H Cougars than UConn. They're 9-7 since 2014 here in Clearwater.
2-2 up and out. Going to be strange watching UConn today without the Sundbergs and the Mellies, who are down so long for 4 years and everyday starters.
I'm sure they still have a glut of 6.5-foot tall pitchers, though. It seems every arm that Jim Penders runs at you is 6.5 feet tall.
3-2 down to Jordan Boyer.
One of the biggest names to come through this tournament since it's been in Clearwater. Back in 2010 and 11, George Springer with the UConn Huskies back when they were in the Big East. Now a world champion for the Houston Astros.
Popped him up right side of the infield. Dutka will make the play, and Young got back quickly. 2 outs now. Young at first, back at the top of the order. We'll see Vickers hit for the first time.
Yeager doing a nice job switching speeds, changing elevations with his pitches. Not a lot to hit there for power, and a pop-up on the infield for the second out.
Well, they left Ritter in. They may have put Vickers in that DH spot, but it will be Ritter still in that leadoff role. Ritter today is 2 for 3 with a walk. There goes the runner again. This time no swing, and that ball's down in the dirt as Dietrich had to smother it, and so Young will get the stolen base, his 12th of the year.
That pitch finished so low, I don't know if it came in and caught the inside leg of Dietrich and broke him down. It looks like he's in a little bit of pain. I don't know if we want to watch this. Bounces right up into his groin. Terrible, terrible luck there.
Vickers hitting in the 6th spot as he came into play short, just to update you.
Well, excellent work by our replay crew there. Dietrich, of course, getting some time from the home plate umpire to try and recover. Classy move behind the plate.
Ritter got moved to left field after the switch is made in the infield. So again, Vickers batting in the 6th spot. He is the shortstop, and they just move Ritter from second to left, and Boyer over to second once we get back on defense. Runner in scoring position here. A chance for the Shockers to get that run back they gave up in the bottom of the 7th after they grabbed a 3-1 lead. Just a 1-run game right now.
USF has not found it hard to win games in this tournament over the years. They found it hard to stick around. Tough for them to make the semifinals, as that one's called a strike. Bulls last year won their opener against Tulane 7-5, but then fell in consecutive games to East Carolina and were sent home by their rival UCF in a blowout 12-0.
1-2.
Bulls haven't made a championship tournament game appearance since 2012 when they played for the Big East title on this field.
While he steps off the rubber, again, we'll say hello to Colby Herman, Monica Genista, Kimberly McGree, and Junior Wabi, all watching on our stream this morning as we're getting toward the afternoon. Here's a ground ball through the left side of base hit. Here comes Young around the third. The throw in is offline, and now they're going to have Ritter caught up between the bags, and the throw gets away. And it will go out of play as it rolls down the dugout steps, and that will allow Ritter to go to second base. But he'll drive in Young. He'll get the RBI single, go to second on the air.
They're going to send him all the way down to third.
Yep.
Interesting play to watch Wichita State double up the Bulls 4-2. This ball was hit hard through the left side. They'll send the run around, and then they had him caught in a pickle, but the run and the throw will get away. That might have gone off his right hand when he was diving in.
Ducked it through over on the short hop, and Janor just pulled the glove up a little too soon. So runner at third with two away. High fly ball into left. Phillips over two is right to win, carrying it, but he picks it up and makes the catch to end the inning. So it'll be one run and a pair of hits in air. A runner left on base. We're going to the bottom of the eighth inning, and the Shockers lead it 4-2 on the American Digital Network.
7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle,
a big save,
a clutch hit,
and a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right.
Power is respecting an opponent, officials,
student athletes, coaches, and team representatives.
Power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments,
profanities, or other improper actions
while at the game.
The American.
Power.
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 Power for life.
Shockers, the 7 seed, trying to get a win in their first game here as members of the American Conference. They lead the USF Bulls, the 2 seed, by a score of 4-2. Sunny afternoon, just a few clouds in the skies, but looks like we're good for today. Playing 6 total games here in Clearwater today. And at last check, it was Houston leading UCF by a score of 5-2. And right here at Spectrum Field, the Shockers 6 outs away from being the second quote-unquote underdog. The 8 seed at Tulane, a winner yesterday, and the 7 seed with 34 wins this year, a chance to pick up a win. And again, Garrett, not sure how it will play out the rest of the week as far as scheduling, but as you mentioned, there's going to be a day off there likely somewhere, moving the Thursday games up to today. Now, whether that will be tomorrow or Friday or even Saturday, somewhere in there you're going to get a break, and potential, as you mentioned, and a good point, could have a 2-day layoff somewhere.
Only the weatherman knows, and then, of course, they don't really know, do they?
It's all just a guess.
Interesting for Houston, not only have the Cougars appeared in the semifinals every year of this tournament, they've made the championship game all 4 years. I think it was a bit of a shock for them to lose their opener yesterday, certainly in the fashion they lost, too.
Well, going with Fletcher, probably the biggest shocker that he didn't make it out of the second inning. Here is Janor, who's over 2 with a walk. Kilgore staying out, throwing for Wichita State. Kilgore, what a story today. Comes out in relief early. 5 innings, 3 hits, a run. It was unearned, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. Keller labored a little bit today. 2 innings, 3 hits, a run. It was earned, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Just got his pitch count way up early, and that one is up and out. Two one. Check swing, but a called strike on the outside. Held it back, but strike was called.
For Kilgore, this is a new career high. previous longest relief appearance was 4 2/3 innings versus Creighton.
Swing and a miss. One away.
Does it look like he's getting stronger as the ball game's going on? Because
Absolutely.
he is impressing here in the Tampa Bay area. Outside part of the plate, right where you want it. That'll bring up Chris Chatfield with nobody on and 1 out.
Biggest thing he has done today since coming in early in relief and going this career high innings today, now 5 1/3. He's allowed the Shocker staff not to have to go back into the bullpen, get real deep in there. Remember yesterday with the way both games went, all 4 teams yesterday got fairly deep into their bullpens on day number 1. There's a strike caught on the inside to Chris Chatfield.
And I misspoke. Last year, he went 4 2/3 in a start against Creighton. Kilgore had 8 starts last season when he went 0-1 with a 6.08 ERA. This year, by far his longest relief outing. Now 5+ innings.
Comes in, leaves it a bit low. Counting it up now 1-1 here on Chatfield. Chatfield 251 this season. Pair homers, 24 driven in. 1-1 strike call at the knees.
Wichita State has found success with the southpaw pitching today. They've got 2 left-handers warming in the pen now.
Breaking ball, popped it up in the right center field. Jackson in the alley with Young. Young will call him off to make the catch, and there's 2 outs.
One of those arms warming up is Chandler Sanborn, number 34. I don't know if you want to mess with the mojo right now of the young man up on the hill.
Well, if he does get Dutka, then Kilgore's going to get the face. He could get the face 7, 8, 9 in the order. 7, 8, 9 in the order have come away with 3 base hits. They've also reached on an error. So the bottom third, 3 have done a nice job this afternoon. They've scored both runs for USF. But as you mentioned, Kilgore is going good right now. Fouled it off down the first base line.
Sanborn would be the guy that you want to close out the ball game. Maybe in the next inning or 2. He's got 8 saves to lead the team on the year, 26 appearances, all of them in relief. USF with an arm up as well.
There's a strike in the 8th inning now. It's a 6-2 Houston lead over at Robin Roberts Field. Dunked it down to the count, 0-2. Deep breath for Kilgore. Leaves it low. And again, if you retired Dunkets, Phillips, Zek, and Dietrich due up. 324, 256, and 281 coming up. Heart of the order due up for Wichita State: Bohm, Trout, Wine, and Croft. Called strike 3, frozen with the off-speed pitch.
79 miles an hour on the inside corner, and literally his bat is a popsicle. That one was tough to stomach there for the USF fans. Perfect.
Oh, that ball is hit deep. Left field. Way back. That ball is gone.
Double play ball potentially. Schreitenthal over to first. In time, double play, and that ends the game.
Can't come to Florida, not soak up some rays. A couple of fans enjoying the game from the berm out in right field this afternoon. I would guess maybe at the red top, probably a Bearcat fan getting ready for game number 2 as some other fans look intently out here. Some seek the shade, some seek the sun out here. Nice day. Getting close to noon here on the Eastern time zone.
Well, it's going to be a challenge for all the teams in competition on this field today because the winners are going to end up playing our 4 o'clock game. So it might be a little bit easier for whether Wichita State or USF advances. Whoever comes out of this next game, though, is going to have to turn around and just battle the sun, battle some fatigue, and try and move on to the winner's bracket in the semifinals.
Now the winners playing a doubleheader today. The benefit for this game is the game with a higher seed, even though it looks like the 7 seed right now with an advantage. You will get a few hours off. Get into the shade. They'll probably hit the bus where there's a little AC or maybe one of the hitting tunnels. Get some food in you, get to relax, and then winner that Cincinnati-UConn game's got to turn around and play the straight up doubleheader.
And really, now that I think back on it over the last 10 years here at this tournament, UConn's had several days where they've had to play doubleheaders and have come away with wins under Jim Penders. Nothing new for his club.
I was going to say, he's probably used to it with the weather in the Northeast. Now, his doubleheaders are a little colder, but I'm sure they're nice to be out here in the warm weather. Remember the UCF game, the doubleheader this year, that they had to reschedule for 9:30 Eastern, and first pitch temperature 28 degrees.
Roaring and ready to go.
I remember telling our SID at Memphis, Kevin Rodriguez, if that happens to us, I'm not going. I will watch the stream on the internet, call it from the hotel room.
Well, I seem to remember that the press box over at J.O. Christian did have heaters right around your feet.
If you're in that booth, you got it. Kyle Phillips 1 for 3, singled in the second. Cookie fouls one off, and it's 0-1 as Ragsdale's in the game. Bohm at the plate. Bohm swing and a miss, down 0-2. Bohm had the big 2-run double in the 7th inning that broke the 1-1 stalemate.
Carson Ragsdale, 6'8", 221 pounds.
Fought one off and fouls it deep into the grandstands over at right field.
Ragsdale from the Tampa area, 12 appearances, all in relief, 1-1 with a 4.24 ERA in 17 innings pitched. He's given up 18 hits, 8 earned runs, struck out 16. Opponents are hitting .269 against the right-hander.
0-2 swing and a miss. Struck out. There's one away in the inning. That'll bring up Gunnar Troutwine, the all-conference catcher. Well, didn't really break, just threw it right past him. Troutwine, 1 walk, but he struck out 3 times.
9 strikeouts in the ball game for the Wichita State offense. That's the first time today, though, that they've gotten Bohm to punch out.
Comes the first pitch to Troutwine. As it stands, Wichita State trying to move on later this afternoon. And USF would be off-site today at 4 o'clock. 1-1. However, USF still has 3 outs to use in the bottom of the inning. Ball and 2 strikes from Ragsdale. Left it up high.
Interesting to see who will trot out to the hill for the bottom of the 9th inning. Kilgore has been on such a roll, or will you see Sandburn, their closer?
Strike 3, caught on the outside, back-to-back strikeouts now for Ragsdale. Well, I thought you had a good point. Kilgore, he's been in a groove, and you're basing the bottom of the order. And you do have the option with the reliever getting ready. He gets in any trouble, you can make the immediate switch. You don't have to have meetings with the mound, wait for a couple of batters. They can make the quick hook.
First day of the tournament for Wichita State. I wouldn't put it past a guy like Sandburn, who's got a lot of appearances, to appear in this game and then 3 hours from now appear in the next game as well, just because it's the first day.
Comes the 1-0. Strike called.
Ragsdale from Wesley Chapel, Florida, which I believe is in Pasco County, just north of New Tampa and the USF campus. That's like where the Apex meets. 75, 275. It's murder every morning.
Swing and a miss, went after one up and out of the zone now. Ball and 2 strikes, and Ragsdale will strike away from getting out of the inning.
Very good high school athlete at Bishop McLaughlin Catholic High School. Was a 4-year starter for the baseball team and also lettered in swimming.
1-2 stays high, evens it up, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You see Ragsdale there telling himself, get it down, get it down.
The 2-2 delivery, just caught a piece of it.
I think what's so interesting in the ballgame is that USF, all the heavy hitters they have, all the doubles they pile up, just 6 hits in the ballgame today, only 1 for extra bases.
2-2, lifted one to center field. Stunkel Jr. ends the inning. A 1-2-3 inning for Ragsdale. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the 9th. It's 7-8-9 due up for the USF Bulls. Wichita State leads it 4-2.
Wichita State University is Shocker Nation. We exceed expectations, push boundaries, seize opportunities, and move boldly ahead. We are student-centered and innovation-driven. It's who we are. Our vision is simple but powerful. Create, innovate, collaborate, and celebrate. With one unifying purpose: to shock the world.
There are other people just like you. Driven, determined. Those who use passion to spark creation. Others who are ready to unite and discover together. It all starts with you and continues with us, the University of South Florida.
Well, gentlemen, making sure everything's okay out in center field on the lifeguard chairs, and everything looks to be good. He's hoping his USF Bulls can rally, though. They need a pair of runs here in the bottom of the 9th if they are going to keep this game going or pull out a win and advance in the winner's bracket. Again, the winner of this game will play today. It'll be approximately 4 o'clock to play the winner of Cincinnati and UConn. The loser also plays today right around 4 o'clock over at Robin Roberts Stadium to play the loser of that Cincinnati-UConn game. Ready to go. 7, 8, 9 are due up. And again, last check, they are going to the 9th with Houston on top, 6-2. Here we go. It's going to be Phillips to start things off. Phillips over to a single, a ground out, and a strikeout. And they're going to stay with Kilgore.
I think you should. His longest relief appearance of the year was 4 innings earlier this month against USF, and sometimes as a coach you just have a feel about what's right for your program. In the previous relief against the Bulls, 6 hits, 3 runs, all were earned. Today, a much different story, and Coach Butler has pushed all the right buttons with his reliever, who is now in his longest relief appearance of his career.
1-0. Popped it foul left side. That'll get out of play. And let's take a look at how Kilgore has progressed today.
Taking down a USF offense that's averaging better than 3 doubles a game. Comes through here. He's kept it low. He's kept it away. And just coming in relief of the starter, Adam Keller. Since the 3rd inning on, he has limited USF. They scored 1 run in the 7th against him. That's all that he has given away. 7 strikeouts in relief for Keelan Kilgore.
1-1 pitch. Just tipped it. Rolls it back to the backstop.
He gave up a single in the 4th, a single in the 7th. I don't have anything else to say about that other than he's been fantastic.
At one point, it retired 7 in a row. 2-2. Has retired his last 5 since the RBI single from Montez in the 7th inning. 2-2. Reaches out and he caps that one over to the USF dugout and makes a way right back to Kilgore.
Sometimes when you're playing a team like this and they bring up Kilgore, who to his name in 2 years had 3 career victories, you just don't see it coming. This was not the guy on the roster that you highlighted and said, this is the guy that could shut us down for 5+ innings of relief. Let's watch out. But today, still just a sophomore, doing a fine job.
Reps one towards center. That's going to get down. Leadoff single for Phillips. He battled at the plate. Second leadoff man to reach against Kilgore. He just drove one back up the middle. Kilgore again looking for that 4th win of the year. And now here they come. And that may do it for Kilgore. Gave him the opportunity tonight. That's all you can ask for.
Number 34, their lead reliever, Chandler Sandburn, warm over the wall. He's got 8 saves on the year. It might be his duty now to close this one out.
This is it for Kilgore. He would have gone 6 innings, 4 hits, a run. It was unearned, a walk, 7 strikeouts, giving Wichita State 75 pitches. They'll call the entire infield in, as we look to see. And yes, someone's coming out of the bullpen. Well, 4-2 Wichita State, with the tying run's going to come to the plate as they make a move.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle,
A big save.
A clutch hit.
And a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right.
power is respecting an opponent, officials,
Student athletes, coaches, and team representatives.
Power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments,
profanities, or other improper actions
while at the game.
The American.
Power.
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 Power for life.
Oh, that ball is hit deep. Left field. Way back. That ball is gone.
Double play ball potentially striking Stalls over to first. In time, double play, and that ends the game.
Wichita State leads at 4-2, but the Bulls are trying to rally with more on that. Down to the field with Haley out.
as the Bulls look to rally, they could use a little luck on their side, and that's something that they've had all season long. So you guys have seen the movie Major League, just about everybody has. And so part of their team tradition stems from that movie. It's the Jobu doll that Pedro Serrano had in his locker. They have a Jobu at every single game on Sundays. And so every single Sunday, for some reason this season, it's always come to game 3 in a rubber match during conference play. So they're 6-1-1 during that time, and the Jobu doll is always in attendance on Sunday. So the Bulls hoping to play on Sunday. We could see the Jobu doll here, so they could use a little bit of luck, and it's worked out well for them so far on Sundays.
Skip, he says he needs a live chicken.
Here we go. The reliever is in, and as you called it, it's going to be Sandberg.
Sandberg, 6'2", 195 pounds. He's a senior out of Avon, Indiana. He is making his 27th appearance of the year. All previous have been in relief, 8 saves. And he will face Garrett Zeck to get us underway here, bottom of the 9th.
Zarek 256, 214 with the runners on, and he's got Phillips over at first. Now, Zeck represents the tying run in this ball game. And in fact, every batter that comes up who just won on represents the tying run. Zeck with 6 home runs. Dietrich has 1. Bontes, 2 batters away, has 3. 1-0. Ground ball at the middle, maybe 2. Vickers slips over to Boyer to first in time with a 6-4-3, just what the doctor ordered.
Great pitch by Sandberg, who's a very composed power pitcher. That's about the worst thing possible that could happen for the USF fans. Now for Sandberg, 31 2/3 innings pitched. He's struck out 50. Opponents are hitting less than 220 against him, and USF down to their final out.
Tyler Dietrich is 1 for 3, but he's been on twice. He struck out single, and he reached on the air by Jackson in the 7th inning and would come in to score on the RBI single by Coco Montez. 281 on the year for Dietrich. First pitch, a strike, quickly 0-1. So again, if Wichita State finishes this out, they play later this afternoon at approximately 4 o'clock. Not a miss, 1-1.
Last year in the Missouri Valley Conference against Southern Illinois in the opener, Wichita State won 3-1.
Slider down and out, 2-1.
They dropped their next 2 games to Illinois State and Missouri State. Did not make the postseason in the NCAAs. Certainly putting their best foot forward here today against the 2 seed USF.
Two-one pitch, way high now. 3-1 is the count. Grayson Padgett homered in the top of the 9th. Again with the Cougars leading UCF 6-2. Three-1 here. There's a strike, and the Bulls down to the last strike. Shocker fans making some noise. There it is, swing and a miss, and the 7 seed wins it over the 2 seed USF Bulls. 4 runs, 9 hits in air, 10 left on for the Shockers. 2 runs, 7 hits in air, 7 left on for the Bulls. The story is going to be Kilgore today for the Shockers coming out of the bullpen, a career high in innings. Wichita State wins it by a score of 4-2 here on the American Digital Network.
Wichita State University is Shocker Nation. We exceed expectations, push boundaries, seize opportunities, and move boldly ahead. We are student-centered and innovation-driven. It's who we are. Our vision is simple but powerful. Create, innovate, collaborate, and celebrate. With one unifying purpose: to shock the world.
There are other people just like you. Driven. Determined. Those who use passion to spark creation. Others who are ready to unite and discover together. It all starts with you and continues with us, the University of South.
7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
4-2 Wichita State over USF. They will play later today against either Cincinnati or UConn. In the meantime, we head downstairs to Haley Outen.
I'm now joined by head coach Todd Butler. Coach, congratulations on this win. Off to the winner's bracket. Your pitcher, Keelan Kilgore, came in relief, was able to go 6 innings, 7 strikeouts. How vital was it that he was able to take your team most of the distance?
He was huge. Keelan Kilgore really stepped up. We threw Adam Keller, who's been in our bullpen, and we were going to see if we get 2 or 3 innings and go straight to Kilgore. He was the key to the game for us. And then Bohm had the double down the line. They got by the third baseman, Villar, and then Ritter had the 2-out RBI later. So, you know, coming in here, you know, we were 9-14 in conference and finished 7th. So, you know, our back's against the wall. This was a good win for our team.
It happened so that in the 7th inning, I was actually up on the concourse with former Wichita State head coach Gene Stevenson when you guys put together that inning that gave you the go-ahead run. So maybe a good luck charm here with you in attendance. How much support rather does he continue to show for this program?
I tell you, I enjoy every day with him. I ate breakfast with him for an hour and a half the other day. We talked about the glory days of Wichita State, and we're working our tails off to get back to that. But all the great players that have played here. He was here 36 years, and what a job he did. He built it from nothing, I mean, from dirt, and built a great facility, a great program, one of the best in the country in the 80s and 90s.
Unique situation. It's beautiful out right now, but a lot of projected weather in the forecast causing your team to have to come back out here this afternoon around 4:30, hopefully. What does your team do in this next 4.5-hour stretch as they wait to see who they play in the next game?
We're going to celebrate this win, go back to the hotel, get a little bit of rest, eat, come back, get ready to play game 2. So, you know, they're working hard to get the whole tournament in. They're doing a great job. The setup here is fantastic, being in Clearwater, Florida. It's a great place to be.
We'll see you back here this afternoon, Coach. Thanks.
Thank you, Haley.
Thanks a lot, Haley. Well, the Shockers move on, and they're going to opt to, and probably the smart play, get over to Clearwater Beach and get some rest and come back this afternoon.
Let's see if the top of their order can stay hot. 7 hits combined for the first 3 batters today for Wichita State, including a big 2 RBI single by the all-conference selection Alec Bohm. But, of course, Keelan Kilgore, the big story of the game, 7 strikeouts for him, and helped hold down USF's powerful offense to get a first-round win, 4-2.
4-2. Wichita State plays later today. Coming up shortly, it'll be Cincinnati and UConn from Clearwater, Florida.